realized I am a product of my environment. I read this book on epigenetics and all the dots just started connecting. You can control your genetic expression with your thoughts, because a thought becomes an emotion, which is a chemical that will then go downstream and have biological effects, right? So we are a product of our environment. And so we need to clean up that environment. We have to be intentional about it.
So what are we at today? So hey, it's Friday, April 24th. It is a nice 78 degrees in Arizona. If you're from Arizona, been in Arizona, then you know. Super excited. So my wife was like, all right, so you got to watch the show with Michael. So Michael has optimized. He's amazing. He tied me into Certified Health Nut and a lot of the different episodes with different modalities and things that we talk about. And my wife went to the last Young Rhythms. I was supposed to be there.
Yep.
And you met.
Yes.
And so after they met, she was like, oh my God, you got to have this gentleman on the show. Jake would be amazing. He does the red light stuff. He had this compelling story. He captivated my attention. I'm like, I'll do red light every day. I'm like, let's get him on. So we have the man, the myth, the legend. What's going on? Welcome to today's episode of the Liftoff Experience. We got Jake in the house, man. How was your drive over?
Oh, it was a breeze, man. No traffic today.
Nice.
So you know how it's bad it's been getting lately with all those the people moving into the state and all the snowbirds. It's been crazy. So no, it was a breeze driving over here.
I love that. If you don't already know, we have times of the year where it's like less because the snowbirds to go back to Canada, which is kind of nice. I think we're getting closer to that, right? I think that a lot of them are leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna have less traffic and go to a restaurant, have less waits, which is awesome. But let's go ahead and get into your story, man. I'm excited to get into your story. Later on the show, everyone, we're gonna get into some of the. We have actually technology to do some testing here in this studio as far as different frequencies and what's around us. Also, we're gonna get in some red light panels. We're gonna bring them into the shot. I see that you have some cool glasses on. You have a drink we just talked about. So much stuff. Grab some popcorn or a healthy drink. Buckle up because we're going to teach you a bunch of stuff. And let's get into your story first and foremost.
Awesome. So, I mean, the crux of it is I use light and circadian rhythm to reverse all of my chronic illnesses.
Okay. What? Okay, first off, what type of chronic illnesses were you dealing with so we can give some context to the viewers and listeners? So if they're going through some of these things, by the end of the episode, they can maybe have some practical actions and some steps to take to maybe follow your journey and have some of the same results.
Yeah, for sure. So it all started, I majored in kinesiology
Okay.
in college. And so, we take all the different classes, biology, anatomy, physiology, exercise physiology.
Yeah.
And after college, I had an opportunity to come down and work here as a trainer. And so I took it. And, in college, I was, very sharp, very focused,
Mm.
Very healthy young guy.
Yeah.
And I came down here. I started working as a trainer. I started working indoors all day long and also well into the night. And it was only a few months until I was just feeling like in the mornings I couldn't wake up, brain fog all day. Just, something
Yeah.
was off, right? And it was such a fast change. I go to the doctor and, well, you've got adult onset ADD.
What?
Right. And so, knowing nothing back then and
Yeah.
still believing in the Western medical system,
Mm-hmm.
he gave me the prescription for Adderall,
Yep.
which is a very hardcore stimulant. And
Mm.
so, of course, if you got brain fog and you're sluggish all day,
Yeah.
like it works, right?
Mhm.
And so it's a Band-Aid. It fixes you in that moment,
Yeah.
but it is definitely not any long time cure or solution.
Yeah.
And so, gosh, just 4, 5, 6 months after that, I'm dating a girl. She's sleeping next to me, and she's like, "Dude, you've got sleep apnea. You should go get a sleep study done."
Really?
Yeah. So apparently it was really bad. And so I scheduled the sleep study, did it, and I would stop breathing over 70 times per hour.
Wow.
So suffocating in my sleep more than once a minute.
Wow.
And, I never even connected, the adult onset ADD to the poor sleep. But no wonder I was, waking up exhausted. I couldn't wake up in the mornings. I had a special alarm clock for deep sleepers.
Okay.
I can't remember. It rang at like 115, 120 decibels.
Okay.
And then it had this vibrating disc that you would put under your pillow or under your mattress. So I put it under my pillow.
Yeah.
And when it would go off, it would be so loud. My neighbors, I lived in a condo, my neighbors could hear it through the wall. And the disc would shake. And there
Mm.
was mornings where I would not wake up.
Wow.
The alarm would shut off after an hour. And so literally I would sleep through that for an
The
hour.
neighbors are knocking on the door,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Jake, what's going on?
No response.
Are you dead in there? What's happening?
So I suffered from extremely poor sleep.
Mm.
And so went back to the doctor. They gave me the CPAP. And, I wore that for a few months. It's pretty
Yeah.
invasive. It's a pain in the ass to sleep with on. And so eventually I just stopped using it and I threw it in my closet. But I just kept doing the same thing over and over.
Mm.
A couple years after that, things are getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
I went back to the doctor. Well, now it's chronic fatigue syndrome.
Mm.
They always got to give it a name,
Mm-hmm.
right? They got to give it that diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
And so nothing changed in my protocols. Continued taking the Adderall.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I don't know, another year or two after that, things are continuing getting worse. Now I'm in whole body pain all the time,
Mm.
which is really just whole body inflammation. And so this time he labeled it fibromyalgia,
Interesting.
which is usually something they give to the older women that are in chronic pain,
Mm.
right? And protocol never changed. I didn't want to take more medications for that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, anyways, it wasn't until I was at, my rock bottom.
Mm.
My health was spiraling down, my life was spiraling down, my relationships were spiraling down.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until I was at my rock bottom that I realized what I was doing was not working. Okay.
Wow. And how old at this time? How many years?
It was right around 32.
Okay. And how many years has it been
Nine
going
years
on?
ago.
So,
It was going on for 8 years.
wow.
Yeah, 24 to
8 years.
32.
Jeez Louise. So it was just going deeper, deeper, deeper down this rabbit hole, getting a bunch of, dead ends.
Yeah.
Medical system's not helping you. They're not giving you anything that could really, they're just like, you're just like, all right.
You're just another customer that they want to keep coming back.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
And the craziest part is, I thought I was such an expert at health and wellness in my own mind because I had the degree.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me, about 8 years to learn that health and fitness are not directly correlated.
Interesting. Okay.
Right? You can be extremely fit, but extremely unhealthy.
Okay.
Because
I can see
I
that.
was doing all the things that I learned in school that you need to do to have optimal health, right? So it's about moving your body, working out, okay, getting your cardiovascular activity in,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
eating what I thought was a good diet back then.
Okay.
My what's the word I'm looking for?
It'll come to you.
It'll come to me. Anyways, my diet's drastically improved since.
Wow.
So yeah, I thought I was the expert, and I had to come to that realization that maybe I don't know everything, right? And so I became open-minded.
I love that. I love that.
And it wasn't until I was ready to receive the information that the information was given to me. The universe delivers when you're ready for it.
Amen.
And so I had a really good friend who he'd been trying to get me to read books. And I was not a reader back then at all.
Say what? No, I'm not doing that.
No. I was like a gym bro, but like stupid fit. Like I was the fittest person that I knew.
Wow.
And I was also the sickest person that I knew.
I mean, that's so interesting. And you would think that like, how would that even correlate? But the first thing that comes to my mind is like bodybuilders. They're going on stage, their body fat percentage, like what they have to do to their body to manipulate the water and everything else to get at that low of body fat percentage. And it reminds me, I actually had a friend in high school. Used to look up to him. He was the general manager at a gym. His name was Chad. Everyone thought he was like the best looking, he was like Ken, he was like, man, this guy looks good, the whole nine. But he was taking so much shit that God bless rest his soul, we lost him.
Wow, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And that stuff's not good for you. And I was doing it too. But and yeah, that's going to have an effect on your health. But knowing what I know now, that was definitely a part of it. But there's more fundamental underlying things. And so this book that he had me read was a book on epigenetics by Bruce Lipton. It was called The Biology Belief. Have you heard of that name?
No.
Do you know epigenetics?
Yeah.
Okay. So for anybody that doesn't know what epigenetics is, it basically, epi means above. So something above the genetic level is actually controlling your genetic expression.
Mm.
So, they had this failed, it's like a 25 year experiment where they're trying to identify every single gene in the human body,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Because they can identify about 200,000 proteins. And so they
Mm-hmm.
think that there's one gene that codes for every single protein.
Mm.
And so over 20 or 25 years, they can only identify about 27,000 proteins, which is about the same as a fruit fly.
Wow.
So from a genetic complexity, we're about the same as a fruit fly, right? We just express differently.
Way to hurt the ego. Oh, I love that. I
And
love that.
so
That's
in
hilarious.
Western medicine is still looking at the human body from the genetic standpoint, which is a theory. It's never been proven,
Okay.
right? And so epigenetics really means that it's our environment that is controlling our genetic expression. And so what I
Mm.
mean by environment is it's literally things like light
Mm-hmm.
and temperature fluctuation
Mm.
and whether or not we're connected to the magnetic field of the earth. It's
Mm.
circadian rhythm, it's movement, it's the food that you eat.
Yeah.
And so I really don't believe in genetic diseases anymore.
Interesting.
There's definitely a few exceptions.
Okay. Okay.
So, if you're born with mental retardation,
Okay.
you literally have a chromosomal issue.
Mm.
Okay. Um, but uh, a researcher, Doug Wallace, he's the world's leading mitochondrial researcher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he's proven that 95% or more of
Mm.
our modern day diseases,
Mm-hmm.
okay, not things that people were dying, of hundreds of years ago,
Yeah.
right? Things that people are dying of today that started about 100 years ago:
Okay.
cancers, heart disease, diabetes,
Yep.
neurodegeneration.
Mm-hmm.
They're all mitochondrial based.
Mm.
And so basically, when our mitochondria stop functioning,
Mm-hmm.
um, our cells lose their voltage, they lose their charge because we're electrical.
Mm.
And the remedy is those cells start to ferment.
Okay.
And ultimately, a cancer cell is a cell that can only ferment sugar into lactic acid as an energy pathway.
Interesting.
Yes. All right. So, anyways, that was the side topic.
Wow. No, that was a
um,
fascinating topic. And I have to say, just as a side note, the fact that, and this is controversial for some, and at the end of the day, we just would like anyone who's viewing and listening just to have an open mind here. Um, you said something about the medical system and just more importantly, how what you don't believe. And it's so interesting how we're given these medications from the perspective of a belief. And they tell us, like, this is what you need to do. Here's your protocol for cancer or for incongestion or whatever it is. And they give you this pill and they tell you to take it. And the fact that you're coming from a different perspective saying, like, you don't believe in that, that's so powerful because it opened up the doorway to all the modalities now that you have gone down and
yeah.
you preach. And now look at you.
Yeah. Well, fun fact. So, pharmacy comes from the root word pharmakia in Latin,
Mm,
which means sorcery.
interesting.
So
Okay.
they're literally practicing sorcery on the population.
Hmm.
And it's because they look at the body through a mechanistic model that can be altered by putting
Mm.
in petroleum derived, drugs into the body.
Okay.
Okay. Because they can't use real things because you can't patent nature.
Mm.
So anything you create, you can control. So you patent it. That's a natural law.
Interesting.
And maybe
Okay.
we'll talk about natural law later.
Yeah, for sure. Something to think
Um,
about out there.
but yeah, I believe that diseases really what they are, they're adaptations
Mm.
to an improper environment. It's your body trying to adapt to the deficiencies and the toxicities that we're exposed to.
Oh my God, it's interesting. It almost reminds me, just to take this into we'll talk tech here. I got another podcast called Rules Here First Tech. So I'm gonna take a little bit of that DNA and put it into the Liftoff Experience. It's like when you have a computer, right? And then what happens when you have a virus? Well, the virus attacks the computer and then the virus causes issues and you might be able to like not turn it off or can control it. And then someone else comes in and they control your computer. They're going into like, who knows, banking information, this and that, because your computer has all your passwords or whatever. It almost reminds me of kind of like a virus coming in and it's almost like a glitch in the matrix that's just causing these illnesses within the body. And then they tell us, hey, just go see your doctor. They'll tell you what you need to do. Then they put a band-aid on it. You feel maybe okay, decent, maybe better in the moment, but then it starts to exacerbate like it did for you, all these additional things.
Hmm.
So I'm just taking it from a perspective of wanting to give some context for the viewers and listeners out there of like a virus. And so we know what the Matrix is, right? We heard about that. We watched the movie. Everything else, it's like there's so much more that I think people need to understand that like we can't see. It's not a physical thing. And that's where I feel like later in the show, can't to wait to get into some of the stuff that you could show them, some of the technologies you have to be able to show things that you can't even see with the naked eye,
Hmm.
which is just so powerful. Hence why he's wearing those glasses right now.
Yep, yep. Um, I don't like the
Component of
comparison
okay.
only because I have a different view on viruses.
Let's hear it.
But to what I would say is, with computing, right, rather
Mm-hmm.
than a virus, how about garbage in, garbage out,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
So if you get the wrong program or the wrong code into a computer,
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to function properly. You're not going to get the right output on the
Mm.
screen.
Okay.
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 And so that's what I mean by signals or information from our environment. Okay. The main signal
Hmm.
that's always been there
Mm-hmm.
was light.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you read the Bible, that's the first thing God made was light, and it was
Mm.
good. And then he separated, light and darkness
Mm-hmm.
because yin and yang, nature loves balance.
Yeah.
Right. And so light is the most fundamental signal to any cellular life on this planet. And we've forgotten about that. I come
Mm.
from the fitness industry where everybody's hyper focused on diet and exercise. And yeah,
Mm.
we say
Mm-hmm.
get good sleep, but what is good sleep and how do you set your day and your night up to actually get good sleep? Because if you're living like the standard American or the standard, modern person today,
Mm-hmm.
everything that you're doing is working against how well you're going to sleep that night.
Interesting.
Yeah. Um,
Hmm.
so anywho, um,
I love that contrast.
so epigenetics, the signals, garbage in, garbage out.
Hmm.
So let's talk about my environment. Okay. So when I went to school at Washington State University,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
So, you're always outside. Even in the shitty weather, like you're walking to your classes.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting outside for 10, 15 minutes at a time all the time throughout the day.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I moved down here, I was working at Lifetime Fitness. Okay.
Okay.
Big building, lots of EMFs,
Mm.
fluorescent lights in the ceilings. Back then, they probably have LED now. They're both toxic. They're both poison.
Mm.
Probably 40 different TV monitors, throughout the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes 100 or more people on the workout floor. Everybody's got a cell phone.
Yep.
And then you're inside, so you're disconnected from the magnetic field of the ground.
Mm.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I was a hustler. I was a grinder. I wanted to make money. I was working pretty much 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Okay.
Sometimes it was typically 8 to 12 people in a row, one on one.
Wow.
And so, if I had a couple hour break in the middle of the day, I'd be so exhausted that I would drive home in my car behind glass,
Mm-hmm.
go in home in my house and, sleep for a couple hours and then go back to work.
Mm.
And so
Okay.
Monday through Friday was what I was working. I never saw the sun. I didn't go
Interesting.
outside when
Wow.
I got up in the morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I had my time and my energy. Anybody that has like sleep issues and
Mm-hmm.
which is linked to chronic inflammation, they tend to have that period after lunch where they get real drowsy and real tired, lethargic,
Yeah.
and then they start to get wired at night, and it's their
Mm.
circadian rhythm issue. And
Mm.
so I was wired at night, and that's when I also had my time to work out. So I was a competitive bodybuilder, so I got to lift heavy.
Yeah.
And so I was working. I was taking a pre-workout at like 9 o'clock,
Oh
and
wow.
then working out till maybe 10:30.
Mm-hmm.
Go home, eat a big meal because I'm trying to stay anabolic.
Mm-hmm.
Have all the lights on, have my TV on, probably my phone.
Mm.
Go to bed at like midnight or 1. Wake up at 8 and do it all over again.
Wow.
And so I had the most abnormal, fucked up environment.
Mm.
Most people have really terrible environments today because we
Yeah.
spend an average of 93% of our day indoors or behind glass that blocks full spectrum sunlight and turns it into an artificial light. Okay, so everybody's got a bad environment, and most people are using way too much blue light at night,
Mm-hmm.
which we can talk about later. That's completely unnatural and it fucks up
Mm-hmm.
your hormones and your
Mm-hmm.
sleep and your circadian rhythm, and most importantly, your melatonin cycle.
Interesting.
But I was extremely severe because I was breaking the three biggest circadian rhythm disruptors.
Mm.
So, first, I was in a fluorescently lit gym
Yep.
until 10:30 or so at night every night. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's say four, because I said
Mm-hmm.
I was probably taking a pre-workout, so I'm taking like caffeine, high amounts of
Yeah.
caffeine, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then I'm stressing my body through exercise, very intense exercise, and we are not
Mm.
supposed to stress ourselves at night in the dark. That's when we
Mm.
should be resting and repairing. And then the fourth one was I was eating a really big meal late at night.
Got it.
Eating is a daytime activity.
Mm-hmm.
Insulin is a daytime hormone. So we're diurnal animals,
Mm-hmm.
which means we have daytime mode and we have nighttime mode. Daytime mode is about stressing our bodies, being alert and awake, so we can hunt, we can gather, we can build,
Mm.
um, we can digest food.
Mm-hmm.
And so all daytime hormones are signaled for by sunlight.
Mm.
Okay, especially the color blue. We have specialized blue photoreceptors that are not used for vision, like rods and cones, but they're
Mm.
photoreceptors that detect certain frequencies of light
Mm-hmm.
for specific biological functions.
Got it.
And so, like insulin is released by blue light.
Mm.
And so, we can actually increase our insulin resistance
Mm-hmm.
even without eating,
Mm.
just by chronically being exposed to artificial blue light,
Mm.
especially at night.
Mm.
And so, um, it was my own lifestyle. Now, I mean, I was chiseled, I was ripped, I was muscular. Yes, I was had some performance enhancers in there, but I was cardiovascular fit. Like I was not just a meathead.
Mm.
And my sleep doctor could not figure out. He's never seen anybody in his office that looked like me.
Wow.
That had such a. I was one of his worst cases ever,
And you looked amazing.
and I looked amazing. A million
Wow.
bucks on the outside, but I was like Swiss cheese on the inside, and I was doing it to myself. This was
Wow.
my dad's got sleep apnea, but I'm telling you, this is not genetic. We just
Yeah.
both had poor environments,
Wow.
and so the apnea is an adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
High blood pressure, it's an adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
Chronic fatigue, it's an adaptation, right? It's not a
Mm.
disease. It's just an adaptation to an improper environment.
Yeah.
I mean, there's four reasons we get sick.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, the first one is trauma.
Okay.
Okay. So if I got hit by a car, but I lived, right?
Yep.
I'm going to have a lot of damage and scar tissue, and things are
Mm-hmm.
not going to work right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to lead to sickness. The second is deficiency.
Mm.
And I think a lot of people think when they talk about deficiency, they're thinking about food like amino acids, fatty acids, vitamins, minerals.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also sunlight deficiency, and
Mm.
there's a grounding or earthing deficiency. There's darkness at night deficiency.
Mm.
Something most people don't think about is temperature fluctuation deficiency.
Okay.
Like we were designed to be exposed to warmer days and cooler nights, hotter seasons, colder seasons. This
Yeah.
is a natural law. The law of rhythm is everything
Mm-hmm.
comes in cycles, just like the seasons, the moon cycle, the menstrual cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Um, most people are keeping their AC at 75 degrees all year long. So it's
Mm.
like perpetual summer. It's a flat line.
Mm.
Anything that's flatlined in nature is death. Just look at a pool of water. It's a cesspool, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But when you have moving, running water, it's clean, it's clear, it's full of life, it's full of energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Like we have these completely unnatural environmental signals, but environments is
Mm-hmm.
we're spending the majority of our doors inside under artificial light. That's why I got the glasses on. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
These glasses block blue light and they basically help prevent my brain and my nervous system being totally stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because that blue light that's not balanced with red. I mean, and that's the issue is all of our artificial light in the name of energy efficiency has been adapted to typically spike in the blue, and maybe it has some green and some yellow, but it's got very little red, and they
Mm-hmm.
removed the infrared completely because of the heat component.
Mm.
But energy efficiency doesn't necessarily equate to biologically compatible because the
Got it.
only light source we were ever designed to be exposed to, you could argue fire as well, but they are infrared dominant. They're heat sources, and
Mm-hmm.
infrared is an energy source.
Yeah.
Life is about the exchange of energy with your environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
The difference between you and a cadaver is
Mm-hmm.
energy.
Interesting.
Okay. And yeah, we should talk about that. Our cells are basically like we make a water battery. And when that
Mm.
process stops is when we're no longer living.
Wow.
And so I read this book on epigenetics, and all the dots just started connecting
Mm.
because I realized I am a product of my environment.
Mm-hmm.
And my physical environment, it's also mental too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can control your genetic expression with your thoughts, because a thought becomes an emotion, which is a chemical that will then go downstream and have
Mm-hmm.
biological effects, right? So we are a product of our environment, and so we need to clean up that environment. We have to be intentional about it.
Yeah.
um, and so right after that book, the same guy introduced me to a couple lectures by a neurosurgeon turned quantum biologist named Dr. Jack Kruse.
Wow.
Have you heard of him?
No. Sounds.
Okay. Well, I'm going to send you some lecture that, I mean, these two lectures literally are the information that I use to reverse every chronic illness in less than 60 days.
Wow. Send it to me. We'll make sure to put it in the show. So for y'all that want to get it on YouTube, we'll put it in the links
Great idea. Yeah.
available.
And so basically what Dr. Kruse teaches is about light, water, and magnetism.
Okay.
Because at the most fundamental level, life is about energy. It's about physics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the physics of how we create energy are about the photonic energy of the sun,
Okay.
the water that's in our cells, and the
Mm-hmm.
magnetic field of the earth. Because
Mm.
our cells are biological batteries. And a
Mm.
healthy cell is a cell that has a strong negative charge. It's a fully charged
Mm.
battery, just like your iPhone. A chronically inflamed cell is a cell that has a hard time holding a charge. It has a
Mm.
very low negative millivoltage.
Okay.
And a cancer cell is a cell that can no longer charge. And so the only energy pathway it has to use, it's an adaptation, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's trying to survive, right? And so it has to go back to a more primordial energy pathway called anaerobic metabolism, which is the fermentation of sugar, glucose, into alcohol and lactic acid.
Mm.
And so, just like you ferment grapes into wine or barley into beer,
Yeah.
a cancer cell is always fermenting.
Mm.
And so, when your well, let's talk. This is a good time to talk about it.
Yeah.
So, if life is about the exchange of energy with the environment,
Mm-hmm.
okay, every cell is a battery. Every cell in your body is powered by mitochondria,
Yep.
hundreds, thousands, or even more, depending on the type of cell that it is.
Wow.
Okay. And so most people have heard of mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell.
Mm.
Yeah, they are, but they're way beyond that.
Mm.
And so, very simple processes. Most people learned about photosynthesis in grade school.
Yep.
Okay. So, we know that plants turn sunlight into energy.
Mm-hmm.
But really, what's happening is plant cells, their energy organelle is called a chloroplast.
Okay.
And what that chloroplast does is it takes carbon dioxide and water out of the environment,
Mm.
and they turn it into oxygen and sugar for us.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that chemical reaction needs an energy source, and sunlight is that energy source.
Mm.
And so, we know the more sunlight and water and CO2 that a plant can get, the bigger, the healthier, stronger it's going to grow.
Yep.
Okay. Probably produce more fruits, more flowers. It's going to be more disease resistant.
Mm.
Okay. Look at nature. Look at, this is just a side topic, but you look
Yeah.
at like bugs attacking plants.
Mm-hmm.
They don't attack healthy plants. They
Mm-hmm.
attack the dying, sick plants
Mm.
because their job is to break those sick plants back down into the most basic building blocks of matter, right?
Mm.
And so we want to be like the healthy plant, not like the sick, dying plant, because then the bugs are going to try to break us back down into the basic building blocks of matter.
Wow. And hope you all are following along here because it's so amazing. You just break it down to the simplest form, and it's like, oh my God, It's right there in front of us the whole entire time.
It's just first principles thinking, right? And I
Yeah.
do it all based off of natural laws or the seven hermetic principles.
Mm.
We should get into that later.
Yeah, we have time. I
Yeah,
love that. Wow.
cool.
This is fascinating stuff.
Yeah. And so that is a cycle,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how plants live, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so mitochondria share a symbiotic relationship with the plants. We just
Mm.
reverse the process.
Okay.
So we take the sugar and the oxygen that the plant made
Mm-hmm.
and we turn it back into carbon dioxide and water.
Okay.
Now, this process, what they didn't teach us, is also stimulated by sunlight, specifically the red and the near infrared frequencies. Okay.
Mm.
And so that's what red light therapy is it's mimicking, it's supplementing it. And I say supplementing intentionally because sunlight is king,
Yeah.
right? I tell my customers and my members to prioritize sunlight
Mm-hmm.
and then use a red light therapy device as a supplement.
Mm.
You know, if I was going to eat a healthy diet, I'm probably not just going to drink protein shakes, right? Except for this one. This is a super shake.
Yeah.
You know, I'm probably going to eat organic whole foods.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I can't get enough protein or if I can't get enough magnesium, then I might have a supplement.
Okay.
And that's what red light therapy is.
I love that. I
And that's
love
just
that.
a very small basic component of sunlight. And we got to talk about all about sunlight, not just red light.
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to get into the red light, the modalities, what he's doing. We have panels here for later on the show so we could show you. In regards to the drink, so before we got on air, we talked a little bit about it. And I said, you want anything to drink? And he's like, I'm pretty high maintenance when it comes to what I'm drinking. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I asked him the question about what he has there. So what do you have there? What was the catalyst to even like figure out that kind of remedy to what you're
Yeah.
drinking today?
Well, so I eat a mostly raw diet as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
There's been times in my life where I've been a lot stricter, but this is something I started probably over 3 years ago,
Okay.
based off the work of a dietitian named Augenus von der Planets. Crazy
Mm.
name. Have you heard of him?
No.
Fascinating guy. He reversed all of his diseases. You know, he was like autistic and I think type 1 diabetic.
Interesting.
And a bunch of other shit happened to him as a
Yeah, yeah.
kid, like really like some messed up health. He reversed everything through nutrition.
Mm.
Okay, I reversed everything through light, and we'll finish that at the end of the story.
Yeah.
He fixed everything through nutrition because that's
Mm-hmm.
one of the major pillars of health, right?
Yeah.
Um, but basically, what he figured out is, you know, we should be eating raw,
Mm.
just like every other animal on this planet. We're humans are the only ones that live under fake light, and we're the only ones that cook our food, and we're the only ones that even pay to fucking live on this planet. It's crazy, right?
So
It does
true.
not make sense.
It's so
And
true.
so, if you just think about it, you know, what happens when you cook something? You kill the proteins, you kill the enzymes, you kill the bacteria, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bacteria are not our enemies, they're our friends. Bacteria, their
Mm.
job is to help break things down.
Okay.
And so the bacteria in your gut help to break down what's there,
Mm.
right? So he eats raw meat and raw eggs
Wow.
and raw dairy, so raw milk, raw cheese, raw butter,
Okay.
raw honey.
Okay.
Um, loves raw coconut cream.
Okay.
And, you know, this is a diet that he's prescribed to thousands of people. And he's, you know, in many cases, not all cases, but in
Yeah.
many cases, he's helped people reverse cancers and reverse
Wow.
other conditions
Okay.
just through nutrition alone. Now, imagine if you powered nutrition with the principles of quantum and circadian biology. And that's
Ooh.
what I help people do. Is
Next
like
level.
I try to help people see the big picture
Mm-hmm.
because at first I saw the foundation of the picture, but then I
Mm-hmm.
had to keep learning more truths after that and
Mm-hmm.
expanding widen my scope.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, we were designed to consume our food raw.
Mm.
When you cook it, it denatures it. It's less bioavailable.
Mm-hmm.
And the nutritional values are reduced significantly.
Mm.
Now, there's some things like starches, a potato. You cook it, now you're going to get better digestion.
Okay.
Some of the vegetables as well. I can't remember which ones, but
Mhm.
I don't eat a lot of vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
But
Definitely artichoke.
yeah.
You can't eat a hard artichoke. One of my favorites.
um, and so, yeah, this was eating raw was a game changer.
Wow. So that's
Like,
all raw in there.
raw kombucha. Oh yeah, that's all raw. So that's 8 raw egg yolks, raw milk, raw honey, raw coconut butter. I
Okay.
would use raw coconut cream if I could find it.
Okay.
Anything you can get her. It's in a can too, a tin can. It's gonna leach tin into your
Oh,
drink. You don't want that.
yeah.
So I use raw coconut butter because I can find it in glass as well.
Okay.
And then there's raw beef liver. It's actually
Hmm.
a freeze dried powder.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, much very more convenient. I give it to myself and to the dogs. Freaking love it.
really? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Um, bee pollen. Think about 6 different types of functional mushrooms.
Wow.
Some cinnamon. But it tastes like honey cinnamon and creamy. It's delicious.
I love creamy. And so what, like 50, 60, 70 grams of protein in there? Holy cow.
I don't count my macros. Not big on that at all. I just eat the things that I'm supposed to, and I don't eat the things that I'm not supposed to. And
Easy.
Augenus talks about like he wants people to gain weight,
Huh.
right? If you look at the people that live the longest, the
Mm-hmm.
centenarians, they're not guys that are 5 or 8% body fat. They're like 20% body fat.
Mm.
Fat is super important because fat cells act as like garbage bags for all the toxins that we're exposed to,
Okay.
and our environments are completely toxic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not just the chemtrails they're spraying above our heads and the
Mm-hmm.
fluoride in the water and the glyphosate in the food.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're wearing plastic clothes, right? We got
Mm.
paint on the walls, we got carpets, like everything, in our houses are off gassing unless they're like completely like natural.
Yeah.
Um, so we're just always accumulating toxins, and the more fat mass that we have, the easier we can absorb toxins,
Interesting. Okay.
which also makes you think that a lot of people, the reason they're overweight, um, maybe they don't, overeat,
Mm.
maybe are eating the right things.
Mm-hmm.
Their body has to absorb whatever toxic load they're exposed to. And so
Mm.
it's again, an adaptation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, talk about Liftoff moment there. Y'all gonna I might have to watch this a couple times just because there's so much to unpack here, and it completely changes just everything. The way that we are perceiving, looking, living, and just being. I think this is just so powerful, and wow, appreciate all this knowledge, man.
I
You're
love to be a
amazing.
teacher for anybody that'll listen.
Yeah, I mean
And I
that's what it
think
is.
and I think information should be free.
It should.
Like there's so many gurus out there that want to charge an arm and a leg for their course. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I get it. You do have to get something because you put a lot of time and energy and effort into the course, but the
Yeah.
prices that some of these people charge is crazy.
Oh my God, for sure.
And I mean, it's also a very capitalistic mindset.
Yeah.
Um, right. And we don't come from capitalistic origins.
No.
Like it's been flipped, right? I
Yeah.
mean, we come from small tribes of people all over the
Mm-hmm.
place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, where there was really no sense of self. It
Mm,
was, I don't think that was even a concept in their mind because
mm,
it was all about community.
mm.
The guys go out on the hunt, and if you killed the big
Mhm.
animal, you didn't take it back to your tribe and keep it for yourself and your family and then put the rest into your bank account, your meat storage.
Yeah.
You had a feast with everybody. Everybody celebrated,
Mm.
right? And your reputation was about how well you provided and protected your tribe. And I think that's what humans were meant to do. We were never meant to live in these giant societies.
Amen.
Have you?
I'm right there with you, and that's one thing that one reason why we started this podcast is like Liftoff Agents to sponsor. There's no, I'm not selling anything here. There's no courses here. Y'all want to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It's free. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm doing this to be selfless, and also because I get amazing opportunities to be with someone like yourself, to be able to add value to the greater consciousness in society. And I'm doing an event. I love cars. And so on May 16th, we're going to have probably 50 people here, probably about 30 to 40 supercars. And I just love the opportunity. One of the guys, it's his birthday. Love the opportunity to bring community together. I think that like you said, like we're not supposed to be the way that we are in this society that we have. And it's like people totally forget, like, hey, love thy neighbor, and just be loving and kind. And If I have all this energy, I want to share it with the world, do the best I can to give it, and best I can to be able to share it. And whether it's the content, the podcast, the event at the house, it's like, yeah, I think we need to go back there.
Can you imagine if everybody just followed that one law, love thy neighbor?
Oof.
There'd be nothing wrong in the world.
Nothing.
But how can you love your neighbor if you don't love yourself?
Oof.
Right? So we got to love ourselves, and we got to start taking care of ourselves and being more intentional.
Mm.
Right? Not just being the
Amen.
NPC that's running on autopilot and running on their programming that they've been programmed through the indoctrination system we call school,
Mm.
through the television,
Mm.
through the internet.
Yep.
Right? We got to
Yep.
start being the superheroes in our own lives,
Oof.
being the main actor.
Oh, dude, I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that. And that's where I feel like so many people have totally just forgot. And I love the word intentional. Like that is like, it's like there's so many opportunities and so many things that you could do. And so many people just like totally don't even think about like what they're doing, where they're going, why are they going there, why are they touching their phone, what are they looking at when they're touching their phone, like what are you eating and why are you eating it? And I like to look and I say something like, I like to eat to optimize. Like I'm eating to optimize to give my body exactly what it needs because for me, I want to reverse aging and I talk to myself and I have apps on my phones. It's all about affirmations. And so very intentional with every single thing and very calculated, but also very just free about it all.
Well, you're intentional about creating the right environment for your
Mm-hmm.
body to either heal or to remain healthy.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as he came and he brought in his meter and he was going around, he's put his glasses on. I'm like, all right, so how's the energy in here? What's the meter look like? How much EMF or what's going on with the blue, the red, the this, the that? And so I'm gonna go order the grounding mats after our show today and put those down here. So that way anyone that takes their shoes off, like I always have my shoes off, I'm gonna put my feet down here and have the grounding mat. Like I feel like it's just a little bit, just take what you can to just keep on adding value. So a couple side notes for y'all. Just, I love it.
Yeah. Always be learning, right?
Yeah.
And always be trying to improve and better yourself.
Mm,
So,
100%.
anywho, I think we were talking about reversing photosynthesis,
Yeah.
right? And so, um, Western science has erroneously shown that this product of mitochondrial metabolism called ATP, adenosine triphosphate,
Mm-hmm.
is the primary energy currency of the body. It's a chemical energy.
Okay.
Okay. And yeah, we're chemistry, but we're electricity, we're physics.
Mm.
And so I think it was Gilbert Ling, might be wrong, but I think it was Gilbert Ling in the 70s that he proved that if ATP was the energy source of the body, it would break the second law of thermodynamics by like 3,000 fold.
Interesting.
And so um, now with new work coming out since like, early 2000s, Dr. Gerald Pollack from the University of Washington, he's been studying water for over 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Water is a very fascinating topic.
Mm.
But anyways, ATP is not the main energy source of the body. Water and heat are.
Mm.
And so Gerald Pollack, he showed, well, there's two things that he didn't discover them. He really confirmed them from
Okay.
like a theory that was over 100 years old. But we're taught that there's three phases to every element in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So liquid, solid, gas. So liquid water, ice water, and water vapor.
Okay.
Okay. And that's true for every element, except for water has more.
Mm.
And so Gerald Pollack confirmed that there's a fourth phase of water that's in between a liquid and a solid.
Okay.
And so it's like a gel, like Jello. Okay.
Mm.
But what's different is this water is not actually H2O. There's a conversion that happens where it turns into H3O2, and it's called structured water because it's water that has structure.
Mm.
It literally makes a hexagonal crystalline lattice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called exclusion zone water also because it's such a tight knit web that it excludes anything down to the size of a proton. A proton is a hydrogen ion.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the smallest, lightest element.
Mm.
And so electrons are like, I think 2,000 times or 1,000 or 2,000 times smaller than a proton.
Okay.
And so you have this tight crystalline lattice that excludes anything down to the size of a proton. So nothing can get in there, but it's full of electrons. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Electrons are energy, they're negative charge. And then the
Mm-hmm.
proton is the positive charge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The body's a battery, works off positive and negative.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we got to ground ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing he discovered is that when water touches a hydrophilic surface, it naturally, this phenomenon happens where some of that water that's touching the surface starts to restructure.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is you get this zone of negative charge of H3O2, the structured water,
Okay.
but then right adjacent to it, you have what we call the bulk water where the positive charge sits. Because remember, the structured water excludes anything down to the size of a proton. Okay, so it creates a separation of charge.
Mm-hmm.
Look on a Duracell, you got positive on one side, you got
Mm-hmm.
negative on the other, right? It's a
Mm-hmm.
battery. And so our cells are water batteries that are charged by light.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So your mitochondria made that water. They took the oxygen that you breathed and then they took the hydrogen ion from your food and recombined it to make water. And the more effectively they do this, the more charged your battery is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then the second thing that one of his students accidentally discovered is he was shining an incandescent light bulb lamp on the experiment. Okay. Because they use like these little microspheres
Yeah.
um, in the experiments so they could show the microspheres wouldn't go into this crystalline lattice,
Got it.
right? That's how they could prove it. And so the student was shining an incandescent light bulb on it, which has incandescent has a lot of infrared.
Mm.
And he noticed when he did that, it expanded it like tenfold.
Mm-hmm.
And so what that tells you is that it's light, specifically far infrared light. Okay, far infrared is what you find in the infrared saunas.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we perceive as heat. That's why the sun feels hot. That's why fire feels hot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And your mitochondria also make far infrared light. That's what keeps your body about 98.6 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so your mitochondria make this water in your cell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The water touches proteins. Every protein is hydrophilic.
Mm-hmm.
And so this structured water forms around hydrophilic surfaces. And so this natural separation of charge starts to happen. But then, because metabolism is a thermal reaction, meaning it releases heat, it releases far infrared,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that far infrared energy that's released increases the size of the structured zone. It increases the charge of the battery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so our mitochondria are activated by red and near infrared light of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to get into like the weeds of like how it happens, but it basically increases our efficiency to 100% of turning oxygen into water and heat.
Mm.
Now, I think most people are aware that we emit light because, if you think about an infrared camera, like if I had an
Mm-hmm.
infrared camera, you're glowing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We also release other colors of light. We release ELF, extreme low frequency ultraviolet light.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe it's the more UV light you give off, the sicker you are.
Mm.
And the more infrared you give off, the healthier you are.
Interesting.
Yes. And bugs can see UV light,
Really?
right? And that's how they know which plants to eat. Okay.
Ah.
The sick plants are giving off more UV light.
Okay.
And so it attracts the bugs to break them down because they're dying.
Got it.
Same thing. Second natural law is the law of correspondence. As above, so below.
Mm.
So what's going on in the macrocosm is going on in the microcosm. Everything's a fractal. And so,
Mm.
the bugs are eating the dead tissues, the dead cells inside of you
Mm-hmm.
because, cells are always dying and turning over, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we create new ones, new healthy ones.
Mm.
Yeah. So as above, so below.
So you think that has to do with I don't know why I just thought came up for me like it was out yesterday and I don't think my wife was getting bit up as much as I was from like mosquitoes. So that would be an example. Like mosquitoes would
I
be
believe it to be, but there's also
interesting.
other things. I think mosquitoes, as well as a lot of other bugs, are attracted to CO2. So the more
Mm.
CO2 you're giving off, they might be attracted to that too. I think there's,
Okay. Okay.
multifactorial. Um, but so your mitochondria literally make alkaline water. Okay. And we want our
Mm.
cells to be alkaline.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most people are aware that healthy tissues are alkaline
Mm-hmm.
and sick disease tissues are acidic. Okay.
Mm.
So it's literally which metabolism you're primarily using that determines that environment.
Okay.
Okay. So if you have healthy functioning mitochondria, they're very efficient at turning oxygen into water and heat, which charges the cell like a battery and it keeps it charged, high voltage. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's alkaline. As we age, okay, our mitochondria get damaged. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We have two sets of DNA. We have nuclear DNA, which is what everybody's taught about,
Yep.
which is, half mother, half father. But then we have a second set of DNA, which is your mitochondrial DNA.
Mm.
And you only inherit your mitochondria from your mother. Okay.
Wow.
So that's another thing that Doug Wallace, I was talking about earlier,
Yeah.
he discovered that. And so if your mother had very poor mitochondria when she conceived you,
Mm-hmm.
you might be born with very dysfunctional mitochondria. Because why do we see
Mm.
some of these, young kids get cancer and other, chronic inflammatory diseases before
Mm-hmm.
they've really gone out into the world and done a bunch of damage to their body?
Yeah.
Is it's
Interesting.
you are passing your life force on to your children through the mother.
Mm.
And so, as we age, our mitochondria become less and less able to turn oxygen into water and heat.
Okay.
And it gets to a certain point, I believe it's like below 40%, is that Doug Wallace proved, is when it primarily switches over to anaerobic metabolism. So
Mm.
mitochondria are aerobic, meaning with
Mm-hmm.
oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's a much more energy efficient way to create energy. Okay. If you use
Mm.
sugar, I believe you get like 30, they're not measuring it in water, they're still measuring it in ATP,
Okay.
but like 36 ATP for like a molecule of sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And if you use fat and oxygen, it's like 136, something like that.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So very, very energy efficient. Okay. When we ferment sugar, which is anaerobic, meaning without oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
So without oxygen, the metabolism doesn't take place in the mitochondria. It takes
Yeah.
place in the cytosol, which is the water in the cell.
Mm.
Side note, when they study proteins and shit in labs, it's always in a dehydrated form. They never
Mm.
study it hydrated. And when you take the water away from a protein, it completely changes what happens. Most of
Interesting.
the science is BS. And we know
Wow.
the science follows the money. But anyways, oh my gosh,
I'm
I
sure
just
they probably did both tests. I bet you they did dehydrated and they probably did it with the water. They probably found out what made most sense to make the most money.
possibly,
I
yeah.
could I could imagine like there's probably something there with that, but
Yeah. And
yeah, but
so, we it's all about mitochondrial energy metabolism.
mm-hmm.
Okay. And so we have to be charging ourselves like batteries.
Mm.
And so your mitochondria are an environmental sensor for your environment. And
Mm-hmm.
so they detect things like light
Mm-hmm.
and movement and temperature fluctuations, and they optimize based off of the environment.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the ways that we charge are through sunlight, the red and the near infrared light.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Exercise. So if light is a physical stress,
Mm-hmm.
movement is a mechanical stress.
Okay.
Okay. And think about it this way too, is um, can you think of any downsides to regular exercise? Are
No.
there any negative side effects?
Mm-mm.
Not until you overdo it.
Yeah.
Like you can literally move your body and exercise every day as long as you don't overdo it. But because exercise is a stress,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's a stress to our system.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so much more than just your muscles, right? Like, yeah, you get stronger, more enduring
Yeah.
muscles, but it goes way beyond that. Like, you get more bone density.
Mm.
Okay. So it affects the skeletal system. You get better cardiovascular endurance. So it affects the cardiovascular system.
Mm-hmm.
It improves nervous system innervation.
Mm-hmm.
It improves lymphatic movement and flow.
Mm.
It affects your hormones. It makes you make hormones,
Yeah.
right? So movement literally touches every system of the body,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not just an isolated system. And the reason it has all this benefits is because movement is a mechanical stress of your mitochondria that improves their function. It improves how well they turn oxygen
Mm.
into water and heat. Okay. And so it only becomes an issue when you overdo it. And this is what's known as a hormetic stressor.
Okay.
So a stress at the proper dose leads to a growth outcome because it improves your metabolism and
Mm-hmm.
improves mitochondrial function.
Mm-hmm.
It only becomes an issue when you start to overtrain.
Yep.
Okay. Well, just like you can overtrain, you can overlight. Okay. Someone
Mm.
call that sunburn,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But up until that point, we're gaining energy and information from the sun that we utilize to improve our health.
Mm-hmm.
You can overheat,
Mm.
right? But heat stress in proper doses has been shown to be incredible for reducing all-cause mortality. Just look at the Swedes and the Finns with all
Mm.
their long-term sauna studies.
Wow.
Like men,
Yeah.
men that did one sauna a week on average, I think it was like 25,000 men over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think longitudinal studies are some of the best because
Mm.
you can look at a population over a long period of time, right? They were like 8% less likely to die of any cause mortality.
Wow.
Once you went up to 4 or more, it was like, I think it was like 28% less likely to die of any cause mortality.
Wow.
And so, this isn't an hour of sauna a day. It's like 15, 20 minutes, right? So it's the
Mm.
right dose because the dose makes the poison. But you can
Mm.
overheat, heat exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cold plunge. You can over cold, okay?
Mm.
Hyperthermia. But in the right dose, cold is a very potent mitochondrial stimulant that
Mm-hmm.
improves how well we convert oxygen into water and heat.
Mm.
Um, and then there is earthing or grounding.
Yeah.
Now, what I love to tell people is that grounding is not a true hormetic stressor
Mm-hmm.
because you cannot overdo it.
Ah.
So it increases the energetics of our body, among a million other things.
Mm-hmm.
But you cannot overground. We were designed to touch the earth 24/7, just like a tree. Okay. It wasn't until we moved inside and then we put rubber on the bottom of our feet. We always used to. And so, the earth gives us negative charge. It gives us electrons.
Yeah.
And electrons are an energy source. It's the energy currency, right? It's about the energy is about the movement of electrons through our body
Mm.
to create this water and heat.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Energy is an increase in a negative charge,
Mm.
which again is another way of saying and alkaline,
Mm-hmm.
right? So back to the alkaline thing.
Mm.
And then increase in a positive charge is acidic. And that's another way of saying
Mm.
inflammation. So
Mm.
energy and inflammation are the balancing forces of each other. And this is the law of polarity, another natural
Mm.
law, yin and yang,
Yeah. I was just
right? And
thinking
so
that.
as energy goes up, inflammation goes down, and vice versa. And
Mm.
so we're losing our energy, we're losing our vitality. And that's why chronic inflammation is increasing.
Mm.
Okay. So I like to tell people that, like, we started seeing rises in cancer and heart disease.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody blames it on the high fructose corn syrup or on the seed oils.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? It was increasing before those.
Mm.
These chronic inflammatory diseases really started increasing after the invention of the artificial incandescent light bulb
Mm.
because the light bulb brought people from the outdoors to the indoors,
Makes sense.
right?
Yeah.
Now, incandescent light bulb, that's the only thing we use in our house.
Yeah.
It's the healthiest light source because it is full spectrum and it mimics the spectrum of fire. Very little blue light, tons of red, and really mostly infrared. That's why they get so hot.
Yeah.
But they're not energy efficient. And so I think Obama banned them back in the day, and I think recently Trump unbanned them. I have a
Wow.
stockpile of about 100 at home,
Really?
just in case the day I can't get them.
Yeah.
But that's the only kind of light we use in our house during the day because the light has evolved
Yeah.
into fluorescent light, which
Mm-hmm.
looks nothing like full spectrum.
Mm.
And now today, energy efficiency, everything's gone to LED.
Mm-hmm.
And most LEDs spike in blue light,
Okay.
and then they lack the red and the infrared.
Mm.
So if red and near infrared light improve your metabolism,
Yeah.
blue light slows it to a halt. So blue light slows down mitochondrial function. So it slows down energy and it increases
Mm.
oxidative stress. It increases free radicals. And so
Interesting.
it increases inflammation.
Mm.
And so when we're inside under our LED lights and in front of our LED screens,
Mm-hmm.
we're literally killing ourselves, right?
Slowly.
Slowly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's happened so slowly that you don't feel it. But I mean, look at people's eye health today. I think South Korea has the highest rate of corrective lenses for teens, like kids under 18.
Wow.
And they're also the most tech addicted country in the world. And so
Wow.
we have these blue enriched tech screens that we're shining on our eyes. Your eye is probably the most sensitive organ and maybe the most important organ in your body, because it's not just about vision. The eye is a camera, but it's way beyond that. It's an extension of your nervous system. It's part of your brain,
Mm.
and it transmits all the light signals from your environment, not
Mm-hmm.
just for vision, but for biological function to your brain.
Mm.
Okay. And so we're looking at these alien lights that are giving us the wrong information. Go back to the computer, garbage in, garbage code in, garbage out.
Yep.
Right. So why does everybody have fucked up hormones? Why are like guys these days in their 30s with the testosterone levels of like their grandpas at 80?
Yeah.
It's because they're not getting the right stimuli from nature. We need ultraviolet light and we need cholesterol to make vitamin D, make testosterone, all our hormones. Um, And so we're increasing the oxidative stress in our retina. Now, your retina has more mitochondria per cell than any other part of your body because it's the
Hmm.
highest metabolic tissue.
Interesting.
And so that means red light is especially important for your eyes. And so, when we go outside today, people are wearing sunglasses, right? To
Yep.
block the sunlight. Okay. It blocks the UV light, it blocks some of the infrared. It turns full spectrum sunlight into an artificial light.
Yeah.
Okay. But then we're behind energy efficient glass that blocks the UV and blocks the infrared.
Mm.
Doctors and ophthalmologists have programmed us that we need to protect our eyes from the sun, from the ultraviolet light.
Mm. Okay.
Okay. We have a non visual photoreceptor in the retina called neuropsin. It is a UV light detector. It
Ah.
detects UV light to control like making different hormones and other biological functions. It has to be stimulated by ultraviolet light.
Okay.
So when we wear the sunglasses outside, we're doing ourselves a disservice.
Mm.
And so this blue light from our screens is increasing the oxidative stress, and it's now the number one reason for eye aging and eye disease and blindness.
Wow. That is so interesting. If you didn't know, now you know.
Now you know.
Wow.
And so the best thing we can do is just get our eyes out in sunlight, especially first thing in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Most cells regenerate at night in the dark, but your rods and cones, and photoreceptors regenerate first thing in the morning at sunrise.
Mm.
You get that balance of blue light with red light.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So blue light and all the artificial lights, like they're not balanced with red. In
Mm.
nature, there's always a balance. You have that inflammatory blue light
Yeah.
balanced with the anti-inflammatory. There's that
Mm-hmm.
yin and yang
Mm-hmm.
red light. You've got ultraviolet light, inflammatory
Mm-hmm.
by itself. That's why I don't do tanning beds.
Mm.
Balanced with infrared light, a lot more infrared light, the anti-inflammatory component.
Got it.
And so blue
Mm.
light is speeding up the aging process. They did an experiment on fruit flies. They put half of the group into an environment with 12 hours of light and then 12
Mm-hmm.
hours of darkness.
Okay.
The other group went into 24 hours of continuous light. Okay.
Mm.
The 24-hour continuous light lived on average, I believe, 38 days. And then the
Mm.
12 on, 12 off lived on average 81 or 82 days.
Wow.
So they had over double the lifespan because
Yeah.
they lived half of their life in the dark.
Mm.
Okay. There's another natural principle is the law of
Mm-hmm.
rhythm. Okay. We're designed to have sunlight during the day, but we're designed to
Mm-hmm.
have darkness at night.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we're just chronically exposed to blue light, and especially at the wrong time.
Mm.
At nighttime, blue light is a signal for daytime. It's a circadian signal
Mm.
because even our ancestors that had fire at night, which is a light source,
Mm-hmm.
very little blue light.
Mm-hmm.
Most of it's yellow and orange and red, and then the infrared, right?
Infrared. Yep.
It's very hypnotic, and so it increases your melatonin levels, and you're going to get really tired, and you're going to have a fantastic sleep and a fantastic repair and recovery.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay.
I got a fire pit.
um, so all of this artificial blue light. Well, all right. So we evolved to the color blue as day because of the fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when the sun was up, the sky was blue and there was blue
Mm-hmm.
light and sunlight.
Yeah.
And so blue light tells our body it's daytime mode.
Mm.
So that's when we release all the thyroid hormone and the cortisol and the insulin, all the hormones that we need for daytime function. Because remember, we're diurnals, so we have daytime and nighttime mode.
Yep.
Okay. The opposite of that is nighttime mode, which is really about melatonin, most importantly. Now, most people think melatonin for sleep. I think about melatonin for repair and regeneration.
Mm.
Okay, because our cells are always repairing themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and melatonin is the signal. Okay, so melatonin controls both repair processes in our cells called autophagy
Mm-hmm.
and apoptosis.
Mm.
And so autophagy is like cell protein recycling. So you like cars.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you have a broken belt on your engine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know cars, so
You're good.
a something belt, a fan belt.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, your car doesn't work properly until you take it to the mechanic and he replaces that part.
Yep.
Okay, so that's autophagy. You replace it, and now the cell functions great.
Got it.
Okay. On the other end, you've got apoptosis, which is a cell suicide. Now, it sounds
Mm.
like a bad thing, but when a cell is so damaged, we have to get rid of it before it becomes a cancer cell.
Mm.
And so, if you totaled your car, you can't just take it to the mechanic and get it running again, right?
No.
Yeah, so that car's done. And so that's apoptosis, is getting rid of that total car so you can get a new car. And
Mm.
we break the cell back down to its most basic components, and those components can go elsewhere in the body to be used as
Mm.
building blocks. So it's a beautiful process, and it's controlled by melatonin. So
Mm.
melatonin is our anti-cancer hormone. Okay, because again, cancer cells are cells that the mitochondria are so dysfunctional
Mm-hmm.
that they can only ferment sugar into lactic acid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they never got the signal to die off.
Ah.
Melatonin was that signal. So, melatonin, most of our hormones that we know of are made by light exposure.
Mm-hmm.
So, specifically ultraviolet light. So,
Mm.
most people know vitamin D, right?
Yep.
Not a vitamin, it's a steroid hormone.
Mm.
Super important, but vitamin D is really just a proxy for how much sunlight you're getting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so, UV light also makes your sex hormones like your testosterone, estrogen, progesterone,
Mm.
makes beta endorphins. Okay, makes melanin. It makes dopamine, serotonin, melanin,
Wow.
histidine, melatonin. And
Yeah.
so hormones that circulate the body are made by ultraviolet light exposure. It's why we got to get our eyes in the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Another fun fact side topic is 95% of your melatonin is actually made within your cells by your mitochondria
Mm-hmm.
when exposed to near infrared light. So, near infrared light increases your melatonin, which is your regeneration hormone.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why red light's been linked to better sleep for a
Mm.
couple different ways. It increases your melatonin, but it also, like red light at night,
Mm-hmm.
is a blue light free environment, and it's blue light suppresses your melatonin the most. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, UV light, hormones, red light
Wow.
makes our melatonin.
Wow.
Um, why was I talking about that?
No, you're good. You're good. Just giving
I just
giving perspective on the whole entire perspective of like how it all works for the cells and for the regeneration and how we go through this process. And what I'm curious about is like for the people out there that want to maybe like connect the dots for themselves. Like so when you started to see these modalities and you start going down this road to get yourself like back on track health wise, like what did you start to do from the beginning and then you start seeing success and then you started to implement the next thing and you started seeing success to really get to like the optimal health that you're at now?
perfect. Yeah. So because the book on epigenetics started connecting the dots,
Yeah.
when I saw the quantum biology lectures, I had so much faith that this was the truth,
Mm.
right? And so I knew if I just created the right healing environment, my
Yeah.
body would heal itself.
Okay.
Okay. So it was drastic because, my livelihood, my income was due to me being in the gym, right? All day
Mm-hmm.
long. So I had to start training differently. And so what I did is I created groups. I
Oh.
started doing group training like a couple of days. I think it was like a 9 a.m., 12 p.m., and 3 p.m.
Okay.
And it was seasonal too because light cycles change
Mm-hmm.
seasonally, right? But anyways, if you couldn't train with me, at one of those times, I unfortunately couldn't train you anymore.
Mm.
And so I went from where I was spending the entire day indoors and especially the night indoors to where all my free time, I didn't have a yard at the time, I just had a condo. I would go to the park, or there's a lot of grassy areas in my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So every moment that I wasn't in the gym, I was outside barefoot in the
Mm.
grass, just wearing my shorts. Like
Okay.
I had no social life for this period of my life
Okay.
because I was on a mission to heal myself and I knew this was going to work.
Heck yeah.
So I went from spending zero time outside during the day to spending 6, 7, 8 hours of sunlight on a work day.
Mm.
Okay. I think I started in January. The light cycles are a little shorter, but also the temperatures are a lot more tolerant, right?
Yeah.
Or you can be outside all
Arizona.
day, you're not going to burn, and
Yeah.
yeah. And so this is also when I found red light therapy too from these lectures. And
Mm-hmm.
I found a chiropractor. There was no red light therapy studios in the entire valley.
Oh, wow.
And so I found a chiropractor that had some of the original LED panels, and I started doing it there. And for me,
Ah,
the benefits were immediate.
really?
Yeah. Now, again, this is not it's a supplement, not a replacement for sunlight. But
Yeah, yeah.
because I was spending several hours still inside the gym,
Mm-hmm.
um, I was doing that red light to help balance it out.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it was immediate. It was a noticeable improvement in my energy and my mood.
Okay.
I used to hate hiking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like doing my cardio indoors on the treadmill, on the step mill. So I hated hiking. I don't know why, but I had to start finding excuses to be outside. And so I started taking up hiking, and then I got really competitive with myself, right? It's like,
Mm.
first I'm walking, then I'm, speed walking the hills and jogging the flats and the downs.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like every time I want to beat my time. Well, I started incorporating red light after my hikes.
Mm-hmm.
I was recovering so much better that
Wow.
I would go out every day, and every day I would PR a new better time. So that's how I knew it was working.
It's like, all right, I'm charging up these cells. I'm having more success in the process. And so, but you were on these medications. When did you start weaning yourself off the medications as you're going through the process of now grounding, doing the red light therapy?
Yeah, it was shortly after I started doing this that I started weaning off the medications.
Wow. You
Um,
just felt it like in your being. You're like, all right, I just
well, I
need
knew
to.
I had to.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, you can't poison yourself into health.
No.
And all pharmaceuticals are poisons,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So there was that. The weekends, I mean, it was like January, still football's on, and
Mm-hmm.
so I used to watch football. I don't anymore. I think it's breads and circuses for the NPCs. No offense if you like football. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I was there too. But I would take my iPad to the park, and I could watch every game, outside,
Perfect.
right?
Yeah.
With my feet in the grass, take my dog out playing. It,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was great.
Love
So on
it.
the weekends, I'm literally outside all day long. And then the other half of the coin is I stopped using any artificial lights inside at night because now
Okay.
I wasn't at work anymore.
Mm.
Okay. I stopped working out at night. I started doing it outside during the day.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, and so this is when I started lighting my condo with candles, and I
Oh.
started reading books. Okay. So I was at a point when I started where I could not go to bed till midnight or one. My body would not let me. That was
Yep.
the cycle I was in, and
Mm-hmm.
my what it was entrained for.
Mm.
Within just 3 or 4 nights of not having any electricity or artificial light at night and getting all the sunlight during the day, I think on night 4 I was finally in bed at like 9 o'clock, like asleep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it changed really fast.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, talk about a liftoff moment there to be able to like switch it up so quick. And so now are you tracking your sleep? So you're seeing also how well you are sleeping at that time, or you
No,
just felt better?
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
yeah. Back then I was tracking it with like an app that you can have your phone listen to you. Okay, I'm not
Ah,
big on sleep or fitness trackers today.
okay. Okay.
I tried. We don't need the technology.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't need a ring to tell me how hard my body's been pushed, or I can
Mm-hmm.
feel it, right?
Yeah.
I'm in tune. But yeah, so I changed my electromagnetic environment, meaning I
Wow.
started spending almost my entire day outside and grounded in the sunlight. Okay, I'm a white dude. I've got Northern European genetics. I'm
Yeah.
originally from close to Seattle, Washington,
Okay.
and so I was pasty white, especially in the
Mm-hmm.
winters up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't burn.
Really?
Okay. And because your skin's like a muscle, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you adapt to whatever demands you put on your body. And so I was getting tons of UV light, but it was very weak in January,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm doing it every single day.
Mm.
And so I just keep building up that tan, building up that tan. And your melanin is not only your protection from the sun and other
Yeah.
radiation, um, but it also gives you superpowers. Melanin allows us to turn water into split water into oxygen and hydrogen, which are the inputs for mitochondria.
Got
So
it.
we can use water as an energy source.
Mm.
Melanin is a fascinating molecule. Um, but by changing my daytime environment to mostly outside,
Mm-hmm.
and then by not using the artificial light at night
Mm-hmm.
and not stressing my body through movement, not taking the caffeinated pre-workouts, not eating at night, Within 60 days, everything completely reversed itself.
And that's amazing for viewers and listeners out there to think about. Like, you could do the same thing.
Yeah, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
It's all free. The only thing that it costs is your time,
Wow.
right? God gave you everything that you need to not just survive, but to thrive outside in nature, and it's free.
100%.
Sunlight is free, grounding is free, temperature fluctuations are free, darkness at night is free, fire's free. If you were still hunting and gathering and foraging, your food was free and it was organic, right? And so it's getting away from this environment is why we got sick. And
Mm-hmm.
the modern world really pulls us away from that environment.
Yeah.
And that's why we're seeing everybody so sick.
Yeah.
And I think it's intentional because then it supports their systems, right? They poison the food, they poison the air, they poison the water.
Yep.
We get sick.
Yep.
A sicker population is easier to control,
Yep.
mentally and physically.
Mm-hmm.
And then we support their systems. So then we go to the doctor, and then we take the pharmaceutical. And all these industries are owned by the same big players. It's a
Yeah.
big pyramid scheme, right?
Yeah.
And they're extracting our energy because we need their goods and services.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people, when we stop being self-sufficient, okay, when we started outsourcing all of our basic needs to governments and corporations, that's when we gave away our freedom, because now they have us by the balls.
So fucking
We
true.
don't live in a free country anymore.
Oh no, nothing's free.
Okay,
Nothing.
like like the founders of this country,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't pay taxes, and they didn't
No.
need licenses to do anything, to start a business,
No.
buy a house, to go hunting, to go fishing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's happened all after 1871. This is
Mm-hmm.
a topic for another day.
Mm-hmm.
But where the United States incorporated into a corporation that's
Yeah.
now under statutes and codes. And
Mm.
this is why you have to ask permission to the government to drive a car, to start a business, to do anything, because a license is permission to do something that would otherwise be illegal.
Yeah.
Now, legal does not mean unlawful,
Yeah.
right? Two completely different things.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the world's gone towards centralization, and that's what, government always tries to do. This is
Mm-hmm.
why history and the cycles repeat,
Mm-hmm.
and then the people fight back, and then it swings back into decentralization. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like we're at that point.
Oh yeah.
And the pendulum always swings back, but not without friction,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so we have a government, a tyrannical government, that's trying to take more and more control, taking all of our rights. Now, if you don't know your rights, you don't have any anyways,
Yeah.
right? So know your rights. That's a
Mm-hmm.
good thing to read is the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, so you
Mm-hmm.
know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
But you were, I think, before the podcast, you were talking about like there's a movement of people going back to self-sufficiency.
Yeah.
They're finally at a place where they're sick of it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they don't want to rely on corporations because
Mm-mm.
you can't buy real organic food anymore unless you go like directly to the farmer that you know is
Yeah.
organic. Like even the corporate organic shit is still sprayed with organic pesticides and organic
Yep.
chemicals, right?
Yep.
That's all making us sick. And so I'm huge on self-sufficiency. That's the way that me and my family are going.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because self-sufficiency reconnects you to the land and it reconnects you to nature, right? When you're growing and raising your own food, you got to be outside,
Yeah.
right? And we want to be literally touching the earth the best that we can while we're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
You grow the most organic, the most nutrient, food,
Yes.
and and you can't do it on your own. Is you have to get back to community, right?
Yeah.
And so that type of lifestyle is
Mm-hmm.
centered around community as well.
Yeah.
And so
I think it could be fun too. If like all your neighbors grew stuff and like you grew what you liked and they grew what they liked and then you
Yep.
were to barter and like trade, like that'd be so cool.
well, that's the way out of the system,
Yeah.
because we are in a system, and he who creates controls,
Yeah.
right? And so if we participate in their system, I mean that's a form of consent, is participation.
Mm-hmm.
We're agreeing to abide by their rules,
Of course.
right? And so we can't beat them with guns or missiles,
No.
like we can't beat them kinetically or violently. And so the only way that we can beat them is by creating our own parallel system.
Yeah.
And I see that's where the decentralization is going to go. Is people are going to go back to producing things at home and their food, and it's all going to be about trade and barter, and maybe we'll use silver, maybe we'll use gold or whatever,
Yeah.
but just a different way of living.
I love that. I could see a parallel living environment from the perspective of like, hey, until more people start to wake up, then they're going to be buying into the system, going to the grocery store, doing what they're doing, and then you're going to the other side, like you and others, and like myself, who's going to have farms and they're going to have pastures and they're going to have different ways of life. And for me, I kind of like a blend. I feel like there's some cool things that we have created experience wise, like because I like cars. I'll just
Of
throw
course.
that out there. Like there's cool stuff you can still do, like trampolines or cars and like like swimming pools. You know, take them, leave them if it's if it's only like the red light panels. I think there's some cool stuff that we have developed from modern society, but I think we've gotten so far away from just the basic fundamentals. Like, where's that middle ground? You know?
Right. I wanted, I wish I could remember this quote. It was by Rudolf Steiner.
Okay.
He was like, I think an Austrian physicist, like
Mm-hmm.
100 years ago. So he said something about men are going to continue to invent technologies outside of them until they destroy the planet or until they realize that these technologies already exist inside of them.
Ooh.
Like there's no man-made technology that we need.
No.
Like God gave us, like I said, everything we need to survive and
Mm-hmm.
thrive
Mm-hmm.
in nature, and it's free.
Oh my God.
Just a quick example is like you look at the Eskimos in Alaska.
Okay.
Okay, vitamin D is always obviously super important to health,
Mm.
right? And so they don't have sunlight and they don't have UV light for like 6 months a year,
Yeah.
right? So how do they get their vitamin D? Well, it's in the food. Look at cold water
Mm.
fish; they're fatty, that are high in vitamin D, and so they get it through the
Ah.
food source. Okay,
Ooh.
but you go down to the equator, okay, where there's vitamin D all year round because there's UV light all year round, right?
Yeah.
The vitamin D is not really in the food. They have warm water fish that aren't fatty,
Mm.
right? But carbohydrates grow there all year round, and so it's natural to eat carbohydrates year round there. Where an Eskimo in Alaska doesn't want to eat carbohydrates in the winter because carbohydrates only grow in strong UV light.
Fascinating.
So nature always has exactly what you need to survive in that environment. I don't know what it would
Wow.
be here in the desert because without artificial air conditioning and without pulling water in,
Yeah.
nobody would probably live here, at least in the summers,
Yeah. I
right?
know back in the day, the settlers were here and there's like Indians and what have you. So, I mean, you had to be closer to a water source,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
And
you
then
go up to
caves.
Sedona and you could thrive up there, right?
Yeah.
You got water
Yeah.
and more seasons, more temperate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, the desert's a tricky place.
It is very tricky. It's tricky, but for some reason, the energy and everything is just, it's a vibe.
Yeah, I love the
I
desert.
love the desert too,
So
man.
beautiful
It's
here.
so beautiful. And like that's where for me too, I'm like and I appreciate the enlightenment today because it just opens up possibilities of like you said stuff about houses. And I think anyone who's viewing and listening, like they are starting to create houses that are more organic.
Yep.
From the paint, no lead, to the carpets, to or more just an organic
To the
way.
structural material. They're
Yeah.
doing dirt houses, like dirt bags.
Yeah.
They're doing hay bale houses and
It's
things that are
amazing.
non-toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So it's like, I don't know. What can you guys out there and comment below? Like, what could you do to change your environment, even if it's just a little bit, going outside a little bit more, getting better water, alkalining your body, like grounding mats at the house. Like, we sleep on a grounding mat.
Mhm.
And so at night, I have all these, like, they are LED lights, but they're very dim and it's darker and it just
Yeah.
changes the mood a little bit. It's funny how all the lights in here right now are blue.
Yep.
They're currently on the blue like setting, and I'm like, oh man, we were just talking about how bad blue could be. I mean, it's daylight now today, so I guess it's fine, but definitely at night, I'm like, man, I gotta go turn to red.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So are you planning on? Are you gonna buy land, or how are you going to start to transition into? Are you gonna start doing like chickens and start growing and stuff
Yeah.
like that? Like, what's
Yeah.
your plan?
So we got a farm in North Idaho about 2 years ago.
Oh, you did. Nice.
Yes. And so me and my girlfriend, we got some family living there right now.
Okay.
And my girlfriend's got three girls, and the youngest one graduates in about 5 years.
Okay.
So we're kind of here for the next 5 years,
Okay.
and then after that, we can then head up to Idaho. My folks are up there now. They were in Prescott for a bit, but
Mm-hmm.
they've recently moved up to Idaho,
Okay.
and so we have community up there.
Oh, nice.
And so, that's the short-term goal. We want to do regenerative farming because regenerative farming is how you fix the soil.
Okay.
Okay, because you kill the soil, you kill everything on the planet because
Mm-hmm.
that's how the plants get all the nutrition.
Yeah.
So we want to raise. Uh, they have chickens there now. We'll keep the chickens, and I want to get cows and
Mm-hmm.
possibly pigs or some sheep or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do some rotational grazing. There's an orchard, so there's like
Nice.
apple trees, pear trees, plum trees.
Wow.
They've been doing a big garden every year now. And
That's
then
super cool.
ultimately, shit doesn't hit the fan and the world doesn't get locked down by 2030. Ultimately, we
Yeah.
would love to get a second place more towards the equator, like Costa Rica would be ideal, and
Mm.
do similar down there, regenerative farming,
Mm-hmm.
produce all our own food.
Mm-hmm.
But we really want to create a place for people to come and heal because, kind of like you were
Ooh.
talking about, the people that keep doing the same thing,
Yeah.
they're in the matrix,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm out of the matrix.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm in and out. I'm kind of like Neo. But
He's here today, but as soon as he walks out that door.
yep. Um, I see a huge need for people that are waking up because people are
Mm-hmm.
waking up left and right, especially
Mm-hmm.
after 2020 and all that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And people are getting sick of it, and they're starting to realize maybe that I wasn't born to work a corporate 9 to 5 job and
Mm-hmm.
waste the best years of my life and then
Mm-hmm.
maybe retire and have 5 or 10 years left, or
Yeah.
right. And nobody's going to have good years at that point after
No.
living such a disconnected life. And so I see a need for a place for people to come and heal that's away from the cell phone towers, away from the technology, away from the toxins,
I love that.
that has the most nutrient dense healing food. It's got the
Mm-hmm.
best, strongest ground and sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, we're talking like, tiny houses or little like Airbnbs where people can come stay short term and long term, and they can live connected to the ground,
Yeah.
close to the ocean's the best place to ground because
Wow.
your sea level and salt water, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we want to create a healing center for people to come heal naturally because that's how
Wow.
I healed myself. And
Loving this.
yeah, it's just, shifting the consciousness of the planet, one
Yeah.
person at a time. And it all starts with shifting your own consciousness.
I love that. I love that. We're gonna have all of his links down below, so you can give him a follow and follow through the journey and see how all this transpires. Because I'm sure you're probably online talking about stuff, and then they can be able to see what you're up to. I do want to get into on the segment of what do you do? Because earlier in the show, we talked a little bit about the fact that there was no facilities in the valley here in Phoenix, Arizona, to be able to offer like red light. And you said earlier in the story that you had, I believe it was a chiropractor that had red light panels, and you started doing that, and how quick it helped you with circadian rhythm and sleep and all these things. So we have some stuff here with us too. So do you have your own facility? Give the context to the viewers and listeners a little bit about what you do, the facility that you have, if you're local. You can go to the facility, check out what he has, what he's doing, because you're technically healing people now.
It's a tool in the toolbox.
Yeah.
I like to think I'm healing them with the information that I'm giving them, because when somebody comes in for a red light therapy consultation,
Mm-hmm.
rarely do we ever just talk about red light.
Okay.
And so, I built Quantum Red as a necessity for myself
Okay.
because, you got to have income to live in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trading my time for money, and it was making me sick. Right.
Mm.
And so I changed my life with light completely, 180%. And red light therapy was definitely effective for me, and almost anybody can benefit from it.
Got it.
Even if you get regular sunlight, you're probably not getting enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so in 2019, the beginning of 2019, um, I knew what I had to do. I wanted to create a red light studio
Okay.
that was both affordable but also convenient.
I like that.
And so what I did is I started Quantum Red with a membership location that
Mm-hmm.
was designed to be self-serve. And so I
Mm.
used technology is a blessing and a curse, right?
Yep.
I was using electronic locks so people could get into the offices with their phone.
Okay.
So I didn't actually have to be there.
Oh, nice.
And so my first location was inside of a gym. So, the gym has staff to keep it open. And then I had my office with the electronic locks, and then, 2 doors. So the only time it was taken out of me is my time to give them the consultation. And then once they signed up, they could come at any time that they wanted, and I didn't need to be there. And
Mm.
so I created Quantum Red as a way to generate income, but not necessarily trade my time for money,
I like that,
because
dude. That's awesome.
nature is what healed me. And so I wanted to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And then I was almost ready to open my second location during that first lockdown of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And I stayed open at my one location,
Mm-hmm.
but I lost 80% of my membership base in that first 30 days.
Oh,
People
wow.
were afraid to leave their houses. And like, I mean, people were told to stay inside, right? So people were getting way less light. And they still could have come over to Quantum Red if they weren't germaphobes, and they could get a huge dose of red near for light therapy that's
Mm-hmm.
great for your immune system.
Mm.
So anyways, it was at that point that I realized that if they weren't going to come to me, I needed to go to them.
Wow.
And I never thought I would be the type of person to create and sell a product, because that's not my personality. Like,
Yeah.
I'm very science based. I'm not a salesman.
Yeah.
I'm an educator, but it forced me to pivot and get out of my comfort zone.
Oh, big time. I mean, based off all the stuff we just heard today, it was just like you would ever thought you would actually have, and we're gonna see his product here in a minute. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah. So in 2020 is when I started actually having the devices manufactured for me, and I started selling them. And it was a really slow start. I'm not a business guy again per se,
Yeah.
and so I don't run my business like a normal business.
Nor do I.
So up until about a week ago, I'd never spent a dollar on marketing.
Oh, wow.
And so all of
Congrats.
my memberships and all my device sales have come through organic Google searches, and
Mm-hmm.
then referrals are huge.
That's huge.
And so I ran my business like that for 7 years. And recently I just hooked up with some really cool local guys that I really enjoy. And they're helping other health and wellness type businesses do marketing. And
Mm.
so, first time I'm doing that.
Nice.
But over the course, I've, designed my own lights and
Mm-hmm.
changed them up a little bit. And I got some products to show you here today. I've also got a new line of products that are coming out.
Wow.
Like, it's been a total blessing,
Mm-hmm.
right? I thought I was just going to be a membership type model, but
Yeah.
now that I can do both, I mean, I do memberships, I do sales, I do rentals. I don't know of any other red light company out there doing even two of those. But
Wow.
I'm doing all three, so I can cover all grounds.
That's huge. I love that. And it's interesting because, like, having the location at a gym and then what happened during COVID, then it's just like, well, you can't really go in, you can't really be able to facilitate. You can if they're not germaphobes, you lost 80%. But now to say there is no more friction because you could rent or buy and it's going to be in your home. So every single morning I have, you know, I got one before meeting and seeing the quantum red device, which you're going to see here in a second. So I have a panel, and then my wife told me about because I have like a little bit like a back of my hair is starting to get light. So I'm like, okay, it's getting lighter back there. I'm not committed to a bald spot. Like I'm gonna take care of myself before. I've been doing different types of topical stuff just to kind of take care of my hair. So now I'm doing the cap. So I have a grounding mat, and I have the cap, and I have the red light panel, and then I do Wim Hof breathing, and I go in front of have the hat, the breathing, and then the grounding for about 11 to 15 minutes every single morning before I go to the gym and get my workout, and I go through that process. So
Talk about intention.
very much so. Like, and then I do the sea salt water with lemon, and then I have the She Legit with the tea, and then I put in I actually also put in maca root, and I also put in cacao, and so I make my organic drink before the gym, and then I have my longevity mix from Mr. Brian Johnson, and then I also have my perfect aminos from Gary Brecka. So very intentional. But long story short, I love the product he's going to show you, and I think that's definitely something y'all could try, especially if you're corporate America, if you're indoors all day, you're not getting outside enough, which that's me. I'm inside all day in this office majority of the time. I do try to go out there, lunch break, get some sunlight. Weekends I'm outside majority of the time, but I could feel my inner being say like, get out in nature, go outside more. That's
Mhm.
where I want to get a property up north, Strawberry Pine, maybe Boulder Creek, probably outside of Payson, so then I can be able to be outside and just be right there, take a hike with the wife, be outside, have a cool little e-bike, go out there, ride the dirt bike, have some fun with that. But you want to roll it over and show them what you got?
For sure. Yeah, my dream is the day when I don't need to sell people red lights because the consciousness of the planet has changed and people have gone back to being self-sufficient and they live outside connected with the sun.
Yeah.
That's my dream. But until then, I'm going to sell people that need them red light
I mean,
panels.
that's
Okay. It's an amazing technology.
that's very admirable of you, because the fact that you're like, I just want to be the catalyst to help people be able to get back to baseline, back to getting outside, using the sun. It's free. Like, that's amazing.
It's a means to an end.
Yeah, it's a means to it. It's not like he's trying to be this big corporate conglomerate and make all this money and whatever else. And so, I mean, good for you for having that be a goal,
Thanks, man.
and being able to just keep it true to you and be authentic.
Yeah. Thank you.
Of course.
So, yeah, I brought a couple lights.
Okay. I
Stay,
love it. I love it.
stay hooked up here.
You should be able to get over a little bit, and then you want to bring it over, and then if we need, we can mic you up here too. So just try to see if you could bring it over. You have some good room there for your headphones. All right, perfect.
Yeah.
So they're gonna see it in the shot now. As far as can see it over here on this camera, I'm sure they can see it in the one over there. We
Perfect.
lost our main camera angle. It's the first episode with the main camera, so I'm not sure if it's we'll figure out tech what it's about. But so what is this? Looks pretty large. Like, give us some context here.
Yeah, I mean, so it looks like a standard panel. I mean, most LED red light therapy panels, look like something like this, kind of a box.
Okay.
So this is one of my larger Quantum Elite mega panels.
Okay.
Okay, it's a modular panel, and so each panel measures 3 feet tall
Mm,
by 12 inches wide.
mm.
Okay, but it's about a half body panel, but multiple can be connected together to make more like larger full body systems. So like when you come
Love it.
into my membership location, you're getting 8 of these panels, 4 in
Wow.
front, 4 in back. So it's your entire body treated in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
10 minutes is about the appropriate dose for a really high irradiance device like this. Again, we don't want to over exercise. We don't want to overlight. We don't want to overheat. And so heat is the enemy of red light. There's a lot of companies out there that are making red light devices that go inside of the sauna.
Hmm.
Um, we were never designed to be exposed to red and near infrared light while being exposed to extreme temperatures. It's
Mm.
completely unnatural. Like the
Hmm.
body likes to stay about 98.6 degrees, right?
Yeah.
And so, again, Arizona desert's a weird analogy because without the water and the air conditioning, nobody would probably live here in the summer.
Yeah.
But most habitable places all over the planet don't really get over 100 degrees. And so you could be outside exposed to the elements all day long. Even in the shade, the infrared reflects off everything, especially green.
Ah.
So even the shade, you get out of the ultraviolet light if you get too much, but you can't get out of the infrared.
Mm.
Okay. Um, so, anyways, because this is dosed higher than what you would get from the sun,
Okay.
you're getting more energy per unit of time.
Got
And
it.
so naturally, your cells are going to heat up. And once they go beyond a certain temperature, it's like right around 101, I believe, is when we start to see a drop off in benefit. So it's like a bell curve. So our
Mm.
goal is to hit the
Mm-hmm.
peak of the bell, which is about
Mm-hmm.
10 minutes is the sweet spot. Okay. And so you can do that 10-minute dose for every single part of your body, and you can do it every single day. I
Mm.
mean, we should be getting this outside in nature every single day.
Yeah.
Um, but I get a lot of people that have fantastic results, even just doing 2 or 3 sessions a week,
Mm.
especially people dealing with like pain and inflammation. I got a lot
Mm-hmm.
of members and customers that use it for arthritis. That's
Mm-hmm.
huge. And as long as they use it on a regular basis, I believe the majority of them don't have any arthritis symptoms.
Wow.
When they stop using it for a week because they travel or something, that's when their symptoms start to come back.
My father-in-law definitely should be using something like this. This is pretty amazing. We'll put the links down below so you could check it all out and you can see these products. Yeah, I saw that over there, the small one, which is pretty cool. So that would be your travel size.
Yeah, so this is like those people that have pain or arthritis, they can take this when they travel, and a lot of them do. And
Mm.
I'll show you the differences, okay? But yeah, so there's 300 total lenses on this panel,
Okay.
okay? And while the outside looks like any other red light, it's really what's on the inside that matters, okay? And so this is the first of its kind triple chip LED. So behind every
Mm.
lens, there's actually 3 separate LEDs.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a 660 nanometer red that's been shown to be the best absorbed wavelength of the reds. And then there's 810 and 850 near infrared, which are the two best absorbed of the near infrareds.
Mm.
Now, intentionally, this is a 2-to-1 ratio. It's twice as much near infrared, so it's a near infrared dominant panel.
Got
The
it.
difference between the two is red light can penetrate up to about a centimeter into our tissues,
Mm.
right? So if I turn this guy on, you see you got the red light.
Mm-hmm.
If I put my thumb over that, it's going right through the thumb. You can see it
Mm-hmm.
not just through the nail for the camera, but you can see
Mm-hmm.
it going through the outside of the skin too,
Yeah.
right? So red light um, predominantly regenerates the tissues on the outside of our body. Okay, so women love red light therapy for skincare. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
every cell is dependent on how efficiently it can create energy to perform its different functions. And so a skin cell's job is to create more collagen and elastin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's incredible for your skin for building collagen, elastin, getting rid of like fine lines and wrinkles in the face. But
Mm.
it's not just the face. Like we were designed to get this light on every part of our body.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another benefit of red light therapy is most people aren't going outside naked anymore.
Mm.
I do every single day.
Mm.
But most people aren't. And so
Mm-hmm.
red light therapy, we do it in a private setting where we can undress to our birthday suit and get it on every part of the body. Okay.
Yeah.
And because it's anti-inflammatory, it's an incredible treatment for any type of inflammatory skin condition.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking like psoriasis,
Mm-hmm.
dermatitis, rosacea,
Mm-hmm.
all of that stuff.
Wow.
Red light, you use the hat, right, for your
Yeah.
hair growth. Red light's incredible for stimulating hair growth. I get
Wow.
a lot of, especially older women are the ones I usually hear it from, is their hair stopped growing when they were like 40.
Mm-hmm.
And, so their hair stopped growing 10, 15, 20 years ago. They go to their hairdressers and like after like 8, 12 weeks of regular use, their hairdresser's like, wow, you've got all this new growth. And so it's fantastic for stimulating
Mm.
hair growth. And then I was talking about the eyes earlier, right?
Yeah.
We're always exposed to this artificial blue light without the antidote, which is the red. Your retina have more mitochondria per cell than any other part of your body.
Mm.
So red light has been shown to help improve declining eyesight in older adults.
Wow.
Specifically, they looked at rod and cone sensitivities, which are your color vision and your night vision.
Okay.
They saw up to 22% improvement after 14 days. They
Wow.
were doing 3 minutes in the morning
Wow.
every day. And then they looked at children ages 7 to 12. The kids all had myopia, nearsightedness, okay, which is increasing drastically, again, because of the tech screens.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, they did it for 6 months. They did half the kids got 3 minutes of red light in the morning and 3 minutes in the evening.
Wow.
Those kids had no progression of the disease. And then the kids that had myopia without the red light treatment, they had significant progression.
Mm.
And so, very common feedback from my members and my customers is they do notice a slight improvement in vision within just a few weeks of using it regularly.
Mm.
Okay, so we got,
I love that.
yeah, our eyes were meant for red and infrared light, just like every other part of the body.
I almost find myself when I do the red light therapy in the morning, like wanting to stare at it. It's almost like it just happens naturally. I'm like, okay, like it's interesting. And I do, yeah, my birthday suit because so I sit on mine and I have kind of like so it's more just the center, but then I also want to produce more testosterone. So
Yep.
I want to have my my privates as close as I can to it, and then so I go through that process as well when I'm sitting in front of the one I have in the gym.
Yeah. So they did a study back in 1939 looking at guys that got sunlight directly on their chest. Now,
Mm-hmm.
sunlight's got infrared, but it also has the UV.
Mm-hmm.
Guys that got sunlight directly on their chest had 120% higher testosterone than men that didn't.
Wow.
And then they looked at guys that got sunlight directly on their testicles.
Mm-hmm.
200% higher testosterone than men that didn't.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So we need the ultraviolet light to convert the cholesterol ultimately into different hormones, including testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
But we need the near red and near infrared light to stimulate the mitochondrial function so those cells are energized like a battery. Yeah, both frequencies of light increase testosterone in men.
Wow. Here's your one of those. Here's going to be this whole episode on how you can charge your batteries without the caffeine and without the 5-hour energy and without all the superficial. You can now just put your feet on the ground. I like the breathing on top of get the sun. And this is great if you're indoors a lot. And then you can have something like this is like to me, this is a cool like kind of a medium ground area. It's like, okay, I don't go outside as much. So I could have this first thing in the morning when maybe the sun's not up, or I mean, what about even doing that before bed to help with your sleep at night?
Yeah. So let me touch on the energy part real quick.
Yeah.
So, the synthetic energy from the coffee and the 5 hour energies,
Mm-hmm.
it's fake energy and it
Mm-hmm.
stresses you out. It increases cortisol and increases adrenaline,
Yep.
right? Real energy is not about cortisol and adrenaline. Like when
Mm.
you're energized naturally, you should feel calm and relaxed. Your body should feel light and loose.
Yeah.
When you walk, it's like walking on clouds,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you have low energy, think about a dead body. A dead body has no energy, and so it goes completely stiff, rigor mortis, right?
Yep.
So when you're energized, you feel light and you feel loose, you feel in a good mood.
Yep.
When you're not energized, you feel tight and heavy, right? So
Mm.
so real energy is completely different than fake artificial stimulant energy.
I love
It's
that.
not a stimulant. It just makes you feel good. Okay.
Mm.
And then for the sleep, so I told you earlier that near infrared light stimulates your mitochondria to make 95% of your melatonin. So that's one way that it helps improve sleep, but also repair and regeneration.
Okay.
At night, you mentioned you use red light bulbs. We do the same thing. I use incandescent light bulbs that have red glass, and so the red
Ah.
glass only filters out the long wavelengths of light, which are like orange and red.
Ah.
I prefer that over LED, but a red LED is fantastic too,
Okay.
because red light suppresses melatonin the least. And so we got to get off the screens. And if we are on the screens, there's ways that we can make the screen go red. We got to wear this special nighttime blue blocking glasses. Shout out to my friends Thaddeus and Heidi. They own a company called Dreamwalkers.
Let's go.
These are theirs glasses. I'm wearing them during the day because the artificial blue light does stress out my nervous system, and so it affects my ability to focus.
And you can feel that.
I can feel it, and
Yeah.
as soon as I put these on, I get relaxed.
Yeah, 100%. And I want to say something here, side note. So I'm gonna give contrast to what you said earlier about like wearables. I wear a ring, and I think that a good case study for anyone out there that may be a skeptic or wants to just get proof to what we're saying. I think the ring could be a good way to find out how well you're sleeping after you have the energy drink. Where's your stress levels go? Because you can go into the app and it'll tell you where you're at with stress and where you're at with certain things. So for me, I do it just because I'm just curious. Like I've been working on, like I've been getting like a 91 on sleep efficiency and like 80 to 90 as far as the actual sleep score. My goal is to get to 100.
Yeah,
I probably won't wear it forever, but like at my company at Liftoff Agent, we do step up challenge, sleep challenge, and I just want
yeah.
people to have a baseline.
N-
And if they can get through the baseline and get their circadian rhythm, get to a level like where you're at, then it's like you don't need anything, which makes perfect sense why you're just like in tuned.
Yeah, no, that's such a good point. I mean,
Yeah.
every technology has a pro and con,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And so, yeah, you're definitely naming a lot of pros, for a tracker like that.
Yeah. Because I just feel like there's a lot of people out there that are maybe starting to wake up. They're not quite there yet. And they're in a point where it's just like, let's be real, ego's a thing.
Yeah,
And,
people are
and,
metric
and you're
driven.
skeptical.
Yeah,
So if you're skeptical and you're metric driven, then get a wearable and test this shit out yourself. Like go drink the energy drink and then go on your app and see how stressed out you are. See how much in the relaxed state you are or not in. Like see where your sleep is at and then do some of like the glasses, get off the phone, do the red light panel or go outside and get your feet on the ground and get the red light therapy and then see what happens, and see if maybe you get anything different as far as sleeping better, less stress, whatever, the case may be.
I don't know a single person that hasn't made those simple changes and did not notice
Right?
measurable effect.
Right?
Yeah,
I love that. I
yeah,
love that.
the proof's in the pudding. So this light's got twice as much near infrared, which is deeper penetrating.
Okay.
Um, research suggests near infrared can penetrate up to 5 centimeters into the body.
Mm-hmm.
But other research has shown that when you take a spectrometer, put it on somebody's back, it's
Mm-hmm.
a light measure, and you put
Mm-hmm.
them out in sunlight, you can measure small amounts of near infrared penetrate all the way through the torso and out the back.
Wow.
So near infrared light can, it can penetrate directly through us.
Okay.
Okay, so it reaches the deepest parts of your body where arguably a lot of the important stuff is,
Mm-hmm.
and it helps regenerate the cells from the inside out. And so
Mm.
the near infrared is really for your muscle performance and recovery.
Mm-hmm.
So, I used to use it like before a workout as like a pre-workout.
Mm.
Then there was times where I was doing it after the hike for recovery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Incredible for pain and inflammation. I just
I
told you
love that.
stories about people with arthritis and
Mm-hmm.
rheumatoid arthritis and just like chronic pain.
Mm-hmm.
It works on pain in two different ways. So just like anything worthwhile in life, it's about consistency,
Yeah.
right? And so, you exercise one time, you're probably going to feel good, but not a lot's going to happen on a cellular level.
No.
Okay. So, with consistent treatment over time, you're going to
Mm-hmm.
start to heal those tissues and reduce inflammation, which is the cause of pain.
Mm-hmm.
But also in the short term, red and near infrared light are fantastic for desensitizing pain receptors.
Mm.
And so, a lot of people that have pain and inflammation, maybe you have like chronic pain in a knee for like the last 5 years. People will come in, they'll do a red light treatment. Sometimes they'll get a 20% reduction in pain. Sometimes they'll get a 50, 80. And I've even had people get a 100% reduction in pain off
Wow.
a single treatment. Okay. So some things work faster than others. Like skincare, people typically notice after 3 or 4 weeks of regular use. Hair growth, I would say, is more like 8 to 12 weeks. But like sleep, energy, mood, pain, inflammation, sometimes it's immediate for a person,
Mm.
especially if they're super sunlight deficient.
Wow.
And so the near infrared is great for your gut, cognitive benefits, everything on the inside. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason I create it this way is because sunlight's not a 1-to-1 ratio of red to infrared light. It's only about 6% red, it's 42% near infrared. So
Interesting.
near infrared is the most dominant portion of sunlight. And it's not a coincidence that the major spectrum of sunlight is the frequency that penetrates really deep into your tissues
Yeah.
to charge those cells like a battery to help regenerate. Okay. And so arguably that's the more important color. And because sunlight's not a 1-to-1 ratio, that's why I made this a 2-to-1 ratio. So we want to get
Mm.
more infrared light than the red.
Interesting. So I mean, so it's like there's a book I read called The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. It's like if you have option A or B, you want to have both. So I like the idea of having this and having the sun and having both just to maximize the
Yeah.
opportunity, the benefits.
And me personally, I get more sunlight than anybody I know.
Okay.
But my red light use is seasonal. So in the winter, I
Mm.
do it every morning because I'm up before the sun comes up, and
Me too.
I don't want to turn the blue light on.
Yep.
And so I do my red light first thing in the morning. And I know I'm just not going to get as much sunlight throughout the day because there's not as much available.
Yeah.
In the summer, my usage goes up because I don't avoid going outside. But, when you got to work and you got to live, you can't go outside for 10 or 15 minutes, sweat your ass off, take a shower, go to work, go outside, sweat your ass off, take a shower. I
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
take 1 to 2 showers a day. And so my use increases in the summer as well.
Okay.
Now, in the spring and the fall, really don't use it that much because if I have a busy day and I'm only going to get an hour of sunlight,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely, I'm doing my red light that day.
Mm.
But especially weekends are easy. Like I play pickleball, and again, any excuse to be outside.
Yeah.
And so I would go out play pickleball, go for a hike. I hang out in my backyard. I mean, I try to get like 6, 7, 8 hours
Mm-hmm.
of sunlight if I can.
Yeah.
There's no need for red light that day.
Mm-hmm.
So
How long are you in front of this one here?
well, at home I have 4 of these,
Okay.
and so it covers my entire body. So I
Okay.
do 10 minutes on the front, 10 minutes on the back. If
Got
I
it.
do it at one of my membership locations, it's only 10 minutes because I get front and back at the same time.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
But I mean, if you with just a single panel, right, you can cover half of your body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can I turn this bad boy on?
Yeah. Let's do it.
I'm not going to show you this different settings, but you can set it to red, infrared, or only both.
Okay.
You can set a timer, and then OK turns it on.
Okay.
Show for the camera. So it's very bright,
Mm-hmm.
but I think most people that get in front of this light, they realize like they don't want to close their eyes, kind of like you said. Like
Yeah.
it's not painful on the eyes. Now, if it was blue light, you wouldn't be able to look at it. It would be blinding because it's a higher energy light.
Mm-hmm.
But this red light, now I don't tell people to stare directly into the LEDs. Like my suggestion is close your eyes, let your eyelid act as the buffer that it is, and scatter that light so it's not so intense. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to go outside, you could look up at the sun as long as you closed your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I do look at the sun at sunrise and sunset when I get the opportunity. It's called sun gazing. I look right at it.
Mm.
My eyesight's gotten better since I've started doing that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need to do that.
But yeah, people aren't going blind, from having these on. But we always want to be cautious because our eyes are, our most sensitive organ, and we only got one set of them, right?
Yeah.
Um, But
Amen.
yeah, I've got a customer, a longtime member. After a few years of regular red light, he no longer has signs of macular degeneration.
What? That's awesome.
Yeah. Dr. Jack Cruz, I was talking about earlier, he had a professional hockey player doing red light 80 minutes a day for 6 weeks because he just had a thoracic spine surgery and it was in season. They were trying to get the guy back out on the ice as fast as possible. So Cruz told him to wear the eye protection because that's an extreme amount of red light. And I guess the guy
Mm.
didn't do it and he kept his eyes open. But 80 minutes a day, right? The
Wow.
studies are showing that 3 minutes is effective, right? And we don't want to overdo it.
Yeah.
So apparently, this guy was getting some kind of injections because he had early signs of macular degeneration.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, the next um, eye exam they got after that 6 week period, he no longer had any signs of macular degeneration. So
Wow.
that's a
That's amazing.
complete outlier. That's a crazy high dose. I would never recommend anybody do that.
Yeah.
But if you just use common sense, it's so extremely safe and natural.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. It's really hard to overdo red light. And if you
Mm-hmm.
overdo it, you might not see as much benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, just daily, intermittent exposures
Mm-hmm.
can have such profound effects on our body, especially if we're not getting enough actual
I
sunlight.
love it. And there's different settings you have on there too. So is it for intensity or
So I have a new line coming out soon.
okay.
So I'm starting with a tabletop panel, and then
Mm-hmm.
I'm also starting with full 5 foot and 6 foot whole body panels. So
Wow.
they won't be modular like this one. Okay.
Mm.
And these have all the bells and whistles except for Bluetooth because I refuse to
Mm.
put Bluetooth and just another unnecessary EMF into my devices.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so it's going to have a touch screen where you're going to be able to control each wavelength independently.
Mm.
And one of the reasons I wanted to do this is because this is only 100% all the time,
Mm-hmm.
which is great. And this is what I use in my membership locations, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I want more recovery, pain, inflammation, I go up closer. If I want more skincare, I go further away. Okay.
Okay.
But with these touchscreen devices, there's also 4 preset modes where it's got a skincare mode, it's got a pain and
Ah.
inflammation mode, it's got a sleep mode, right? So it'll adjust the intensities of different wavelengths. There's 6 wavelengths in that one. It's got the same 3 plus 3 additional.
Mm.
Um, so it'll adjust based off of what specific benefit you're going for.
I love that from an intentionality standpoint too, because I feel like there's something to be said where if someone goes and puts that mode on, it's like subconsciously in their brain they're also putting that mode on.
Yeah, so you get the placebo effect too, which is
Correct.
real.
It
Yeah.
is. It is. It is so real. Like I just turned 40, and like I'll tell you what, like I feel like I'm like going backwards in age here, and I don't even feel like it's like because, and this is a completely different rabbit hole. We won't go this deep. I'll just give a couple commentaries here. The fact that like we're told things that we're told from conception, whether at this age you feel this, or testosterone drops at this age, and all this type of stuff. I want to break that mold and cycle because I feel like there's a way to be able to change shit out from sublino to like what you're feeling, what you're thinking, what you're doing. So I'm just so curious, and for me, it's gonna take. This is a lifelong study. I'm just doing this. It's gonna be fun. But I love that you are gonna have those different types of wavelengths, which then sets that intention that helps the person really be able to get that benefit.
Yeah. So at home, we use a small tabletop device. It's got a
Mm-hmm.
stand and it also has the adjustable features, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't use that device really for treatment because I have the big panels. Then I also have this guy, which I use
Mm-hmm.
a lot.
Mm.
But the tabletop device, I can tune the red light down to like 5 or 10%, and I can turn
Mm.
off the infrared light, or I can leave it on because we
Mm-hmm.
can't see infrared. It doesn't give us any extra visible light, but
Mm-hmm.
fires got tons of infrared light, so it's natural at night.
Yeah.
Um, but we use it to light up the entire downstairs
Ah.
because the red incandescent light bulbs aren't enough. Like
Mm.
when my girlfriend's cooking dinner and we're eating or girls are doing their homework,
Wow.
we need enough light to light up the room,
Yeah.
but we don't want it on full intensity because that's
Yeah.
almost too much light.
Yeah.
And so we set it down to like 10%. And now you have this really dim, chill, like
Okay.
people that come over at after dark, like we don't turn the lights on for them just
Then
because
the
they're
neighbors,
normal people.
the neighbors are like, What do you got going on over there?
Exactly. And then the bedroom at night,
Red light district over here.
everything's glowing red. Yeah. But people that come over at night, they love it because they
Yeah.
realize how much more relaxed they are. It's kind of like sitting by the campfire,
Mm-hmm.
right? It really helps you realize how much these blue artificial light sources
Mm.
are stimulating us and stressing us.
Oh my God.
And so
100%.
you get rid of the blue light at night, you turn on the red light, or they have the red incandescent bulbs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, you start going to bed earlier, you start sleeping better. And it's because you're protecting your melatonin cycle, which is
I
what's
love
going to
that.
A, prevent cancer, and it's going to B, protect your mitochondria.
Yeah.
So you can charge your batteries long into life.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. I need to charge those batteries as long as possible. So something like that panel, like what does that run you as far as just giving them some context on pricing?
So a big panel like this is 1500.
Okay.
Okay. Now something that's unique about me is I don't charge sales tax. Okay.
Nice.
Delivery is free.
Nice.
And if you're local, I'll even do your installation for free. So it's all inclusive. I
Wow.
also have one of the best, if not the best, warranty on the market.
Okay.
These are 4 years, and
Mm-hmm.
my new ones with the touchscreen are actually going to be 5 year. A lot of my competitors are 2 and 3 years. Okay.
Wow.
And so
Lifespan that you've seen so far, like how long have you seen them go for, like 6, 7, 8 years before have any issues as
I've
far
only
as
been making them since 2020. So I'm in this is
year six
officially going
almost?
into the 7th year because I've done
Okay.
6 full complete years.
Okay.
Okay. I started in March. Yeah. So my failure rate is like 0.2%.
Wow.
Like I've had 2 devices come back. So
Wow.
I also sell to a lot of wellness centers around the valley and around the country
Yeah.
and gyms and things like that. And so I've had 2 of these panels come back from the same wellness center, from the same system that's in a smaller closet type room,
Mm.
and it doesn't have any airflow or ventilation.
Oh, overheated.
And so heat is the only enemy to these because typically it's not the LEDs that go bad. Like the LEDs are rated for 100,000 hours. Like
Oh,
you
wow.
should not be able to outuse the LEDs. It's the drivers that power the LEDs.
Yeah.
And yeah, when they're getting 20, 30 uses a day consistently and there's not enough airflow into the room over time, it's just degraded the components.
Mm.
But no, as my plug-in panels, those are the only ones that have ever come back,
Wow.
and they're getting commercial type use.
Yeah.
And so any normal house, any normal setting, any normal amount of use, I mean, you could have 6, 7, 8, 10 people using a day, so you're not going to overuse it.
Mm-hmm.
These are designed to last forever. I've had so many comments from other people that have owned other red light devices, have
Mm-hmm.
sold other red light devices.
Mm-hmm.
They say the build quality on mine is better than anything that they've seen.
Wow. That's absolutely amazing. And I
Yeah.
love that now you all have context behind who he is, what you're about, all the things, which is just amazing. And yeah, I've never really gotten this deep in the sector of red light. I know that they're good. I know that I have it. I know that I got sick from not having enough sunlight because I used to work like in a garage during COVID, and so I'm very, very like all about this type of technology and what we could do to be just intentional and self-evaluation from like what do you want to do, where do you want to be, where do you want to go. Like I love this, and I want to get those links for them as far as like some of the studies that you have,
Sure.
links for your social, links to get the quantum red. I think this is amazing. And man, I can't believe like it's already been 2 hours, but this has been a phenomenal
Can I
freaking
talk about this one real
experience.
quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I wanted to show this one too. I brought this one as well because with these big panels that plug into the wall,
Mm-hmm.
they do make some form of EMF, electric and magnetic fields, which are
Mm.
disruptive to our biological processes. So for the same reason, I probably don't want to put my cell phone directly inside of my head. I also don't want to put my body directly to the next to the panel. So I recommend at least 6 inches of distance to make the
Mm.
EMFs completely negligible. Okay. This one was designed to be safe for skin use.
Ah.
Okay. Instead of an alternating current into the electrical grid, it's a direct current. The body works off of a direct current.
Mm.
And then anything that spins creates a magnetic field. So there's no fan in here intentionally. So it dissipates heat through the side.
Mm.
And so this guy is actually safe for skin contact. And so I use this just as much as my bigger panels
Mm-hmm.
because when I have an injury that's like deep and I want to get a lot of light to it, you can stick this guy right on that injury site. So this is my number one seller for pain and inflammation. Women use it during that time of month for like cramping and discomfort.
Wow.
There's helmets out there. These are powerful LEDs, and got it on low here. It's got 3 different settings: low, medium, and high. You can also do red only, infrared only, or both. This has 4 wavelengths, but you can put it directly right against your skull, and especially the 810 and the 850 don't have any trouble penetrating through bone. But the closer you are to the light source, the deeper the penetration you're going to get. You do get a little bit of skin reflection, when you have a distance. And so the benefit to putting this directly against the area is you have no reflection, and you're going to get really deep penetration.
And you charge it. How long does it last?
So on a full charge, you're going to get at least 10-minute sessions on full power before it
Nice.
needs to be recharged again. It is a battery device, so kind of like an iPhone. Over time, that battery capacity is going to start to
Dissipate
fade away.
yeah.
I would say my failure rate on these is about 2 to 3%, which I think is pretty fantastic for a battery powered device. But no, I've got people that have been using them for over 2 years.
Wow.
I've had that. Well, I've had these for about 2 years right now.
Okay.
And so I've got people that still use them every day.
What does that one run?
This little guy's $350.
Nice.
So it's actually my cheapest product. I would say it's my most versatile product. You're just not going to do a full body session with it, right?
But I love it for you could do the face, do the chest, do your
you
breathing technique. If
travel.
you're travel, you can buy a couple of them.
You can use it as a night light in your bathroom at night while you're getting ready for bed. That's another thing I use this for is for the bathroom, because we don't have red lights in the bathroom, at least red light bulbs, right? And so I turn this on. And then I set it to the lowest power because I don't want the brightest red light. And then I can get ready for bed.
Wow.
So
I
love
it.
A lot of good uses for this guy.
Wow. That's amazing. So all his devices will be available for you guys to check out, guys and gals out there. And
we'll make a discount code for all of your listeners as well.
Okay.
So the discount code is going to be 15%. And we'll make the code Liftoff. How's that sound?
Ooh, let's go. I love that. Okay.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah, no, I love that. And I'm looking forward to, and this is the thing. The intention of the show is really just to be able to give different perspectives out there for people to be able to see that there's technologies and there's information and there's modalities and there's all this research that's been done. And the fact that you just took all this information, years and years and years of your life's work, and just we packed it into 2 hours to supercharge someone's life so then you can get off the medication and sleep better and just be a better human being altogether. I think this is going to help us because, even if something, who knows, like blackout, whatever, I mean, we're all going to have to go back to fucking the basics anyways at that point. It's okay, you're going to go outside, you're going to figure it out. We're going to have to reset. It is what it is. I'm hoping that we can have a parallel reality here and we can all have some type of kumbaya, my lord. But what can we do besides enjoy every day?
Enjoy every day. Do not consent.
Yeah.
Be the superhero in your own life.
Amen.
Right? Take action.
100%.
Yeah.
And God bless. And I appreciate you all. And I always like to think about this quote. I follow this YouTuber on social, and it's you, me, all of us had to do and had to go through every single step, piece, place of your existence to get to the exact moment that we're in right now, to be able to listen, to be able to digest, to be able to understand this concept. I mean, this is a lot for me too to learn. And so I'm just so grateful that I've gone through what I've gone through to be where I'm at here today and get to co-create with you. It's just been an absolute pleasure, man.
Absolutely. And, pain is probably the best teacher. Right? So, we get to the places that we're at because we've gone through the pain, and then we've decided we want something different, something better.
Amen to that, man. Doesn't challenge you, doesn't change you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for watching today's episode of the Liftoff Experience, as it is our intention to be able to help you have more liftoff in your life, personally, professionally, and spiritually. That's why we bring on amazing individuals and amazing episodes to be able to help you do as such. New episodes come out every single Saturday. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment below with one thing that you took away from the episode. And if you have a compelling story that you wish to share and you want to come to Phoenix, Arizona, Gilbert, Arizona specifically, to our recording studio, we'd love to have you on an episode. And a big thank you to Liftoff Agent, who does the thumbnail, writes the copy, does all the content for our show behind the scenes. As all I do is find guests, point and shoot, and have a good time. So thanks so much to Liftoff Agent team. Thank you so much for staying to the end of the episode. And just do us a favor and like, subscribe, give us your feedback so we can get this out to more individuals. And of course, you can share this with someone else that you think that should see it, because at the end of the day, we all have to help each other and serve each other to have more liftoff. And now, our YouTube channel, you can go ahead and see all of our other videos. If you're listening to this, just go to the Liftoff Experience on YouTube. And if you're watching this, then you can see on the screen that we have lots of episodes that you can take a look at and you can watch today to be able to go deeper with different subject matters to help you have more liftoff in your life. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. God bless. We'll see you all on the next one.